Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 The Savior, and for this video, I will be responding back to a comment that some weeboo left me on my video in which I was talking about why getting a major in Asian and or Japanese studies, learning how to speak Japanese, so Japanese language as a major or Asian studies as a major is a waste and that I don't recommend it. So, first of all, let me say this. Any content information on my channel is, for the most part, my opinion, my observation, when I'm telling you what to do, what not to do, when I talk about things like that. Of course, for each individual person's circumstances, you might find that something that I tell you not to do would actually be beneficial to you. Also, let me add that this channel is for people that live in Japan and or that want to live in Japan. It is not made for people that are trying to go back to the US, etc. If you watched the video, you would understand that. However, I will also add this information technically does apply for the US too, because a lot of the research that I even did on this information to come to this conclusion came from people advising you not to get these degrees because they do not lead to having careers or success in your life, etc. in the US or even the UK. I read both articles that have been, factually checked from people doing their own, whatever research on the amount of people that were employed, etc. Now, keep in mind this video is old and outdated, and I don't know all of the exact information or whatever at this point. I don't even remember where I got my information from, to be 100% honest with you. But I can tell you that just from looking around, you can see that yourself, or you could have seen that yourself back in 2016, 2017, and now even in today's time, 2023, I have no skin in the game. I am a housewife. I am retired. I'm no longer a teacher. I will still maintain the exact same advice because, see, my advice is not about making you feel good about yourself and your decisions and what you want to do, but rather I'm giving you real talk, honest advice that I would want somebody to give me that really did care about and or love me. If you are my friend, my child, if I were your parent, whatever, your big sister, I would tell you that you should not get a degree in either of these things. In a nutshell, my video pretty much summarized it by saying that most of you are going to end up working here as a teacher, and as a teacher in Japan, you do not need to have any Japanese language ability whatsoever. Most jobs don't encourage it and don't even allow you to speak Japanese. It can get you in trouble at work, for the most part. Some jobs don't mind you speaking Japanese, and that includes even to the parents. They don't want you to speak Japanese to them either. It's really stupid. It's a racist stereotypical thing, but basically they want the parents to feel like the students are immersed in Japanese. There's also a disconnect, whatever, because when Japanese people were asked about how they feel about their teachers, some Japanese students actually say that they wish they wish their teachers could speak Japanese, and they wish they were bilingual, which a lot of teachers actually are bilingual. They're just not given the opportunity. A lot of, not most. Most teachers do not speak Japanese, might also add. But there are a lot of people who can, but they're not allowed to do it at work. I cannot tell you how many times I've worked at low-paying jobs where my coworkers were very fluent in Japanese, but they only spoke English both to the parents and to the students at work for two different reasons. One, personal preference, and two, most of the time, this is the reason why, they're simply not allowed to do so. I'm not going to go into all of that shit because I've already made a million videos talking about the stuff, and it's not my fault and not my job to do the research for you. You're grown, and when I say grown, I mean you're 16 and up. You have the opportunity. Even say if you're 13, 15, the internet is here. It's not new like how it was when I was using YouTube and whatever back in 2006, 2005, whatever. It's been around here for a long time. So now at this point, you are choosing to be ignorant. I have people asking me super simple, basic questions about working in Japan, and it's like most of the questions people ask, well, I love that you're asking it because it gives me video content. It's stupid, honestly. You could literally do a Google search and get the answer yourself. But whatever. Makes content, so I don't mind. It gives me money. So, I wasn't going to bother to respond to this, and then I thought to type a response, but their comment was really long, which I like, because, you took the time to give me a lot of ignorant stuff that I can talk about. But then I was like, this would make a much better response video than me wasting my, precious time responding to you. And I'll give them props. They appear to have watched my entire video, but then it makes me wonder, were they watching to actually understand and comprehend what I was saying, or were they watching it to start an argument and a fight, because they claimed that they didn't understand my video, that it made no sense to them, but if they watched the video and also saw where I was living, it would make perfect sense, but whatever. So in a nutshell, I'm going to read their comment to you in a moment, and I'll break it down line by line and respond to it as I go. But I want to say in a nutshell, they pretty much said they didn't get my whole video. And they were saying that my information I was given was false, that it's not true, that basically you can get paid more by speaking Japanese, you get promotions based off of seniority. They know a lot of people that live in Japan that are working IT engineer jobs, blah, blah, blah. Basically, the salary is good. There's plenty of jobs. Many foreigners work there. All of their friends are doing that. And they also added this bullshit lie. They said that they don't know of any teachers that have been, teaching long-term in Japan, but they know plenty of people that have been doing IT-related work long-term. Another bullshit excuse. Or bullshit, whatever, observation. Also interesting, this person does not live in Japan, claims to have all these friends that live here, which I call bullshit too, but let's say that they do know a ton of people that live in Japan. Did it ever cross your mind that maybe the group of friends that you have happen to have IT jobs, but the vast majority of people don't? But that's for a whole other topic. I'm just saying, just my observation. Not to mention, you admit that you don't live in Japan, so how can you speak on this topic? You can't live vicariously whatever through your friends. That's the equivalent of me saying, prior to getting married, oh, well, I don't know. I know lots of people that live in, Korea, and they all have engineer jobs. Have I ever been to Korea before? Do I live in Korea? Did I ever think about the fact that maybe just because my friends claim to have these jobs and have the salaries that they do, how do I know how much they're really making? I'm trusting them and taking their word for it. Not to mention, do my little group of 5, 10 friends, and 10 is a lot of friends for adults, does my little group of 10 friends represent even the vast majority, even half, even a quarter of the people, even a tenth of the people living, even 1% of the people living in, North Korea, in Korea? No. So how the fuck does my little circle of friends now discredit any information that I get from people saying that most people in Korea are teaching English? Get the fuck out of here. The advice in the video is telling people that are coming to Japan that they should not study these two things because they are scams. Most schools are pushing off Japanese language and Asian studies because these are the only majors that their school can offer based off of where they are. They are not able to offer the degree programs that, go into other more detailed, intricate things for several different reasons that I'm not going to bother to go into or claim that I have the research on. But long story short, a lot of the majors that you have in your home country in the US do not exist in Japan. So even if you want to do something like, for example, become a doctor, there's no school in Japan that you can go to that is an English-based school like Temple University, Lakeland University, whatever, Sophia, that has programs like that for foreigners in English. It doesn't exist. Not to mention, even if you go finish your 4 years in school, you are not going to be fluent in Japanese at an adult level. So it doesn't quite exactly work the same way that it does like in Spanish because they have a completely different writing system. So no matter how hard you study Japanese, even if you take kanji for 4 years, it's not enough time for you to know kanji at an adult level where you will be able to read and write like a Japanese adult. And that is a big part of being a translator, especially going to be an interpreter. The list just goes on. And mind you, there's a difference between translation and interpreter work. And then, oh my God, let me get on this part too. They bullshitted about translation and interpreter work. Most people that are working as a translator or interpreter in Japan, if you're not lying on the internet and capping on here, you are working part-time and you are doing freelance work. You do not have consistent work. And you normally are either a housewife, a stay-at-home husband, or you have some other sort of part-time gig. Whether you do YouTube, TikTok, something else. You are not making a living being an interpreter. And for the few people that are, I can assure you there are less than 10,000 foreigners doing that as a full-time job, a career in which they are making a minimum of 300,000 USD, 300,000 yen minimum per month. In fact, I'll set the bar even lower, 250,000 yen per month minimum every month. How many foreigners are doing this job as a translator and or an interpreter? In fact, I did you the favor. I did my own research because, you know what? Maybe Ren is wrong. This information is outdated. I made that video when I was, 22 going on 23. What did I find for you? I literally went to Gaijinpop, which is the biggest website for foreigners to find jobs. And before you bullshit, there's other sites, like I said, where most people find their jobs, or most jobs are listed, and normally the most legitimate companies. And this isn't even to get into the fact that most IT jobs and translation jobs that are listed are scams. They're stealing your information, they're stealing your resumes and using it for themselves. And or the few people that do get these jobs are literally just that, few people. 1 or 2 positions are available. There are not thousands and millions of these jobs. Not to mention, most people working these IT engineer jobs are people doing these, what do they call it, the intern, whatever you want to call it, the training program type thing, where they're not even making 1,000 or 200,000 yen per month. Most of you watching my content are not from one of these so-called third world poorer countries. You are from the US, you are from the UK, you are from Australia, Canada, etc. Thus, you expect to be paid significantly more than that. Also, keep in mind the Japanese salaries are lower too. And I mentioned the fact if I recall in that video, maybe I didn't, if you're like most people, you will have student loans left over after attending school. So you want to think twice before you sign up for a degree that your school is pushing you. See, their goal is to make money. They don't give a damn. Let me get to this in a second. They don't give a damn about whether you find a job afterwards. They'll lie to you and say that they do, but they don't. Their goal is to trick people into signing up for their school. Sorry, I had something in my mouth. Their goal is to trick people into signing up for their school. They take your money, and then they want nothing to do with you afterwards. Not to mention, most foreigners that do study these, things, whatever, get these degrees, they're going to leave and go back to their home country because they're going to realize Japan is not as wonderful as they thought that it was. Even people that come here for work. I cannot tell you how many times I receive emails from people that thought they were going to love Japan until they actually came here and lived here for themselves, and they realized how much more difficult and hard things are. And rather than moving to another city and getting another job, most of them just quit and go back to their home country, which the employers love because they hate people that stay in Japan and keep the same visa because they feel like they got scammed, which is really stupid. It's like, no, you're just a bad employer, and that's why your employees are leaving. So anyway, that's another topic. But yes, like, if you literally look at these listings, every single last listing that I saw for translation work, not even one was full-time. Not even really part-time. All of the jobs are paying 1,200 yen. In fact, the couple of jobs that were offering you real salaries, they were asking you to do, like, German translation. So it wasn't even English to Japanese. I think there was maybe one job that did. There weren't even 10 jobs to choose from. Like I said, your options are extremely limited to non-existent. I don't understand. In fact, this brings me back to a video that I made earlier for Patreon, which I was going to make one for YouTube publicly too, with all this divestiture bullshit talk. It does not matter if you find some random rainbow exception to the rule where you find 5 people where this works out for them. I got a little fly inside here or something. I'm talking about most people. I'm talking about real advice, real examples. You can find an exception to any rule, Captain Obvious. There's always going to be, I bet you there's a foreigner right now from the US that's working here as a neurosurgeon making 30 million yen per year. But how many people that have even medical degrees in the US are making such money and have such jobs? Because they don't have the Japanese reading and writing ability. See, it's not just speaking, it's reading and writing too. And a lot of foreigners forget about that part. You also have to be licensed in Japan to practice such things. But see, people don't talk about that part of it. You want to focus on the 1 or 2 rainbow unicorn people that are doing this. And a lot of people are just fucking lying to you. Because I highly doubt this person even knows 10 people that actually live in Japan, besides bullshit relationships they have with people online that they claim to have talked to them at. And most of the time I find when foreigners claim to have friends, they're talking about people that they watched on YouTube. I went in on a guy before in another video where I had a similar conversation where I made a video talking about why you need to have a bachelor's degree to work here. And the guy bullshit me. I did some really simple research. I think I either did a Google search or a YouTube search or whatever. I think I did a YouTube search on either the guy that he had recommended to me, the channel that I should watch, or I just searched in general, work in Japan without a degree or something. I clicked on this dude's video. Not only was the video bullshit and giving you some one-off rare example of somebody coming here without a bachelor's degree, it did not talk about how, for most people, this is not going to be possible and or will result in a lower salary and less options to choose from. I find this nigga's comments, it was a white man, I'd also add, I find him in the comment section thanking the man for the advice and saying that, basically gives him hope, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god, this bug. So yeah, and so I was thinking to myself, this nigga lied. In my comment section, he claimed to have already, been doing, basically already be here. That he, was in the process of getting his COE or whatever, blah, blah, basically trying to give people false hope. And so I'm like, why are you capping and lying in my comment section like you knew this information and you did something yourself when you didn't? You literally just commented on this dude's page, on his YouTube channel, 1 or 2 days ago? Was it a week ago? Whatever. You a fucking liar. So anyway, I get weebs with this all the time. And I'm sorry for those of y'all that are subscribers of mine, but whenever I see people that have like them K-pop, anime, profile pictures or whatever, I instantly lose all respect for them at the moment they disagree with me. Because it's like, for starts, I can't take you seriously as somebody that's claiming to have a degree or be going to school, whatever, and getting yourself together when you got a little fake ass profile like this. And it's funny because these are always people that talk the most shit, right? You feel comfortable and secure because I can't see who you really are. I don't know your name. I can't see your picture. I can't make up anything about you. I don't know what race you are, whatever. I can try to assume based off of, what you wrote.
Okay, one more thing. Let me also state the obvious. Obviously, I know everybody that has an anime, video game, or K-pop, J-pop, whatever celebrity type profile picture, or the biggest trolls I didn't mention, the people that have no picture but like it's just the first letter of their name because their YouTube account is like linked to their email account and like they don't have an actual YouTube channel, whatever. I know not all of you guys are. Let's use our brains here, people. But let's also keep it real. While you may not be using your picture of Sasuke or of, whatever BTS to be a troll, most people do. It may not be you, but most people do. And I will also keep it, keep it real. You may be talking all sweet on my channel, but a lot of the time, the reason why people don't want profile pictures that are of themselves isn't because they think they're too fat or too ugly, but rather it allows them to anonymously troll. You can speak your mind, say what you want to say, think what you want to think, and just be bold and a shit talker. I mean, think about it. The biggest accounts on Twitter, whether it be stan pages, which I follow some, and some of them actually follow me, or, whatever, just people that making jokes and sexist crap, etc., it's always accounts in which they're using a celebrity's photo. They never have a picture of themselves. Why? For that same reason. People will follow you because you're funny or what you're saying is factual, is good information. But if people actually see what you look like, you're not going to get as many followers, not as much love, etc. Exceptions always exist to every rule, but I'm speaking bluntly in general. So yes, of course, I know not all of you are like, Rin, but I love your channel. I comment regularly. Yes, I know, not you. I'm speaking in general. So anyway, back to the video.
But I always want people to be really funny. They're always the ones with the most shit to say. Not to mention, instead of thinking, okay, well, everybody told me this, you're the only person to say that, maybe think to yourself, why is everyone saying something different than this person? It amazes me how this is human logic for these dumb bitches. I hate Gen Z so damn fucking much. Instead of thinking to yourself, maybe everyone's lying to me because I have something to gain from it, you assume I'm the liar because I'm the only person to say something bad. I've had people that have sworn I'm their worst enemy because I wasn't kissing Japan's ass. And then they came to Japan themselves, worked here themselves, and these bitches crying in my inbox. Now y'all should be lucky I don't dox people, but I get apologies in my inbox all the time. Oh, Ren, you were right. I tried doing such and such. It didn't work for me. Or I worked as a teacher in Japan and I married a Japanese person, but they wouldn't give me more than $250,000. Y'all, the same shit that you're bitching at me about, and you getting on me about, people will get mad at me publicly, but they don't apologize to me publicly when they find out that they're wrong and I'm right. And I give these people their props. At least they have the audacity, or they have, the ability, the, maturity, whatever, to come to me and admit, hey, I was wrong, I'm sorry, in private. Because see, most people won't even do that. They be too stuck on the fact that I crushed their little dreams because they don't have the proper education that they need, or because they don't have the look that they need to have in order to get the type of person that they want. They're too focused on the fact that I didn't agree with what they have to say. And see, people want yes men so damn much. You want somebody to say that everything that you're doing, everything you have planned is correct and right, and you don't want to hear the truth. So whatever. Like I said, all of these jobs, for the most part, when I say all, I mean like 90% of the jobs are saying 1,200 yen, which is less than what, 10 US dollars or whatever per hour. And you know when they're doing these little hourly rates, you ain't gonna be working for no damn 5 days a week, even. That's less than what a teacher makes in Japan. Then, not just that, let me also add the fact that for those of you that got degrees in this shit, you don't need a degree to do translation work. Nobody asks for it. Nobody cares that you have it. It does not give you an advantage over another applicant. What they do care about is actual experience. What they do care about is your ability to read and write. Emphasis on read and write kanji, not just speaking. A lot of work that you will be doing is typically going to be translating, which is a very easy thing to have done from Google Translate, and plenty of foreigners that are not native English speakers. And like I said before, when they do need these translation interpreter jobs, whatever, they normally hire a native Japanese speaker that can also speak English. They don't hire a foreigner for tons of different reasons. The biggest one being your ability to translate things into Japanese is very limited, because you don't know how to read and write kanji at an adult level. So even your translation has to be checked, essentially. Now you can interpret things, kind of, but even then, you don't always know the best words to use. Why? Because you are not a native Japanese speaker.
Let me also add something that people don't think about very often, but even for native Japanese speakers, they can have difficulty figuring out which word to use, or more specifically, when it comes to like translating and written stuff, when it comes to which kanji to choose. So for example, you can have like a word that, it's the right word to use, but different kanji should be used. This is actually a really big problem when it comes to names too, where you don't know which kanji you should use for that name, because technically when you type it in, that comes up as an option, but that would not be the appropriate way. So for example, let me give you a very easy one when it comes to names. My husband's name. There's different ways that you can spell his name. And if you were to just do a simple search on what's the kanji for that name, you would actually spell it incorrectly. Now, he wouldn't make a big deal about it, but a lot of Japanese people take great offense to it, especially when it comes to business related stuff. You do not want to write somebody's name using the wrong kanji. So anyway, that's just a small example, but don't even get me started on like the little like characteristics such as using keigo, etc. There's lots of little things that are difficult to learn. It requires a ton of practice. And again, there's different levels of what sort of translating you're going to be doing, but for the top dollar type of translations, like real-time translations, like as you've probably seen if you've ever watched NHK World, those are the type of jobs that are going to be paying you the most money. Not these little mom and pop shops that are offering you a funky 10,000 yen for a 2-hour translation job or some shit. So anyway, back to the video.
That's just facts. For example, sorry to hurt your feelings, gonna keep it real. If we are in the US, who would you rather hire to do translation work? From Spanish to English, realistically. In the US, who do we normally hire? We hire white people, don't we? My high school teacher was a white woman that spent just a little bit of time in Mexico. And here I had studied Spanish beforehand from an actual Hispanic woman, a Latina, from Mexico. And I was able to correct her in class. Some of the stuff she said was incorrect. She didn't even understand some of the things that I said. And she tried to laugh at it and brush it off. And I'm thinking to myself, see, this is a prime example. It's not even about being right versus wrong. Because, of course, I'm sure there's examples where maybe you could offer a better translation than, a Japanese woman could. But realistically, who do they hire? Look on TV when they do translation stuff. Do you normally see a white person over there doing the translation? Do you even see a Chinese person? Nope. It's almost always Sachiko and Taro. They're the ones that do the translations. When you're watching important stuff, for example, with the pandemic, with corona crap going on, who did they have? Who did NHK have out there? A Japanese woman doing the translation. When Abe stepped down, who did the translation? A Japanese woman. They do not hire foreign people for these type of jobs. Same thing goes for video games, etc. When you look at who's doing the translation work, almost always it is Japanese people. And when it is white people, foreign people, it's normally people in their respective home countries, not people that are living and moved to Japan. And when the ones that do get those type of gigs, I'm going to keep it real with you. I ain't finna say no damn names, but I'm sure you all are aware that, for example, games like Final Fantasy, etc., I've met a couple of the people that have done crap like this, that have done, singing jobs for Square Enix, etc. They brag about it, they make it look cool and good and nice, right? But they're broke. They make no money. They don't have contracts with these companies. They literally get a few pennies, couple of royalties, and that's it. They don't make enough money to be taken care of for life. Nobody cares about who sung whatever song. Nobody cares about who made the beat for whatever. They're forgotten about quickly. That's facts. Now you can look at these people and be like, oh, well, they have entertainment visa. Oh, they're self-sponsored. Okay, but the reality is they're not able to work full-time doing whatever they're doing. I've never met somebody in Japan, and I'm not just going based off of me. I've never seen, never heard, never read any foreigner in Japan that is working full-time just doing entertainment work that is not on a spouse visa, thus having their spouse really support them. It doesn't happen. Now, of course, there's going to be some one-off person you could find. You could probably find articles on 10, 20 different people. Okay, but this is my computer. 10, 20 people out of the millions of foreigners that are here. Well, not millions. So there's almost 2 million of us working here. And that's working. That's not including the ones that just live here. So out of the, 1.8 million foreigners that are here. How many people are doing that? Exactly. So anyway, 1,200 yen for a part-time hourly job being a translator. Is that what, $50,000, $40,000? Probably even more. That's how much it cost back then. Per year, or even for 4 years, worth it to you? Again, these schools just push these degrees off on you because all the offers, which is the reason why I'm mentioning Japanese and Asian studies. Because she was like, oh, well, why are you making this video about that when you're not even talking about, Asian studies, Japanese studies, whatever, Japanese language. You're talking about teaching English because that's the job that most of us do, you dumb bitch. If you watched the video, I said that, heifer. But okay, let me go on. The other part that I want to talk to you was the IT jobs, because see, I'm wrong about that too. I'm just spreading bullshit, right? I'm just lying to you guys for no fucking reason. I'm just getting some sort of hard foot. But I have nothing to lose. Even at that time when I made the video, I'm already here. I'm literally helping you come to Japan and helping you find a job. But for some reason, I'm just, lying and hating on you for no, whatever. Y'all just don't want to get your little dreams crushed because this is what you want to do. So, again, let me also clarify. Yes, IT and engineer jobs do exist. People work them. I've worked with people that work these jobs even at schools. But the reality is there are not that many of those jobs. Most of the jobs that do exist pay well under 300,000 yen per month. They're very competitive, and they normally get filled by Indian or other Asian people, not white people. And oftentimes when white and black people do work these jobs, they don't stay very long. Most of these companies actually do close down because they're small little startups. They're ghetto companies. And I cannot tell you how many times on these little stupid Facebook groups of foreigners in Japan, which if you live here, you know exactly what I'm talking about, people have complained about not getting paid, salary being withheld, X, Y, and Z from these IT jobs. But you know so much, right? Because you have your little 3 weeaboo friends that you claim to have met on Reddit, apparently. Oh, I'm sorry, you're real friends in real life. You know so many people, right? But you know so many people, but you don't know that most foreigners are working as teachers in Japan. And that's also bullshit. I can agree. Most foreigners do not stay at the same job as a teacher for several years. But after the average life of a teacher here in Japan is actually 3 years. And I said teacher on top of that. That shocked me too. And on top of that, get this. People that quit their job as a teacher doesn't mean they don't work somewhere else. I quit my job 1,000,001 times. And before I got married, I had been a teacher for 5, 4, 6 years or whatever in a row. Okay, so it does happen. And I'm not the only person. I'll give you an example. Don't confuse someone quitting their job with someone quitting their career. That's a completely different thing. But okay, let's move on. So here's what I found. This is from a simple search on Gaijin Pot. Nothing complicated. You could have done this yourself. And this is not the only site. In fact, Gaijin Pot normally offers the higher salaries. You can go to Craigslist, anywhere else. And mind you, like I said, a lot of these posts that do offer higher are either A, scams, or 2, it's very limited positions that are available. And the requirements for the job are astronomically, extremely high and ridiculous. But okay, this is what I came across. So these are engineer IT jobs. We have a $200,000 to $300,000 range, or 300,000 yen range. That's literally on par with being an English teacher in Japan or working at an international school, which sucks. 220,000 to 500,000. Now the 500,000 is nice, but that's in Nagoya. It's for an engineer, an electrical engineer for software. So yeah, but again, notice how the 500,000. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. Living in Japan, I know this better than you probably do. Well, I know it better than you do because you don't fucking live here. You clearly don't know shit. So let me explain this to you. Anytime that a job says to whatever range, they're always gonna pay you whatever the lowest range is, just a little bit more than that 9 times out of 10. Why? Because the highest range that they have listed is the highest amount they will ever pay you working for that company. Meaning that the only way you're going to get that 500,000, you have to cross off everything that they want to have in an employee. Like if they say, oh, we prefer a master's degree, they want that. They want the JLPT N1. They want everything on that list. Plus, you would normally also have to be inside of a management position in order to get that salary. They're not offering that to people working regular, measly, entry-level IT jobs or, second, third year, whatever. This is like seniority positions, which most of you do not qualify for because like how you say yourself, if I recall, positions like that are normally given based off of your longevity at the company, how long you've been working there, and it's normally not even open to foreigners because normally those type of salaries go to Japanese staff, even at companies run by foreigners. Go figure. That's a whole other story. Like I said, yes, we get it. There's those one-off, anecdotal, Captain Obvious stories. Like, oh, I know this person. Good. You know one person. Can you name me 10 people, just 10 people, working IT jobs making more than 350,000 yen per month? Can you do it? And also let me know, are they using Japanese at work to do this job too? Was it required? What country are they from? How long have they been working the job? Right, you can't fucking do it because you don't have that many damn friends. But that's a whole other story. So, okay. And this is the average. I'm literally seeing all the posts. 220,000, 280,000 to 350,000 yen. These are IT jobs. And then look, then we go into part-time work. 1,400 to 2,800 yen per hour. And of course, most of these are negotiable. We have a 4 million yen per year. Again, low salaries, all on par with being a teacher. And so don't get me wrong, there are some IT jobs that do pay more than being a teacher. I worked as an international school teacher, and I definitely had students whose parents did IT-related work where they were making more money. But like I said, the amount that you're making is not going to be significantly more than being a teacher. Normally it's not more, and it is less stable. And I explained that inside the video if I recall, and I did another video after that when I was talking about the degree situation too. You are limited with where you can work, where you can move, where you can live when you work these sort of jobs. Because generally speaking, most IT jobs are only available inside of the bigger cities in Japan, and if you burn your bridges or if they close down for whatever reason, you are stuck without a job and you have to run back to being a teacher. And thus, I was saying I would not advise studying things like that when you know you want to live, work, and study in Japan. The reality is, if you're getting a degree in Asian studies, you're going to end up being a history teacher doing some other sort of weird, random, one-off work, or your degree will have no relevance. If you're planning to live and stay in Japan, I don't know why the hell you would get a degree in Japanese language. It's just useless as getting a degree in English language as a foreigner in the US. Now, of course, English has a different meaning for us. When we say English, we literally mean more like literature. But Japanese language, meaning like just being able to read and write and speak basic Japanese words like how normal adults should. The jobs that you can get don't pay much, they don't offer full-time work, and they're not looking for you when they do want translators and interpreters. That's facts. You're going to be limited to what? Embassy work and some random freelance stuff. You will not have a consistent job. And sorry, you and your 5 friends do not count as all of Japan. Because let's make it fair. Let's say that out of the 1 million people here, okay, 5,000 people want a translation job. Out of that 5,000, I can assure you that no more, and this is pushing it, no more than maybe 20 of them will find full-time work as a translator. And when you factor in how much studying they have to do outside of the 4-year degree that they got, how many language schools, private lessons they would have to do in order to even reach the Japanese level to do that type of work, realistically and professionally, it's normally not worth it. You're ultimately going to be getting the same salary as a teacher. It is rare for a translation job to be paying you over 350,000 yen per month. And I'm adjusting the amount for inflation because salaries have gone up a little bit for teachers in Japan. Not significantly, but they have gone up a little bit. I am seeing more jobs offering 300,000 yen, which was more of a luxury back in 2016, 2017. Most jobs are still offering less than that. But I am seeing more jobs that do offer that much money. So I kind of already answered everything I'm about to say. But let me read this damn bitch comment finally, now that we're nearly 30 minutes into the video. And like I said, I didn't bother posting because I'm like, why waste my time arguing in the comment section? You're not going to read it. You're going to say it's too long. And you're going to just misunderstand it and add shit into my mouth all over again. So I might as well just address it inside of a video. It's everything that I have to say since people have selective hearing, selective understanding. So let me break it down line from line and then I'll end this damn video. But can't get a break, people. Okay, so this is from Moja Baka, which yes, you are very Baka. Thank you for having a name that suits you. Stupid Weeaboo, what is this? I forgot the name of that. Love Life? Or whatever the name of that damn show is. So this, well, at the time of me seeing it was an hour ago. It actually ended up inside my spam box, so I didn't actually delete it in that sort of sense. It was already going to be deleted if I didn't go to my spam box. But I do check my spam box every once in a while. So anyway, it says, this video kind of makes no sense to me. You admitted that it made no sense, but you bothered to write an entire, 1 or 2 pages explaining what you got out of the video. So it probably did make sense. You just chose that you didn't want to understand. You didn't like what I have to say. So, okay. Why would someone who studies Japanese go to work as an English teacher in Japan? Question mark. I think the exact same thing. Why would they? But I answered that for you guys already. It's one of the few options that you have for living in Japan if you're going to university here. And on top of that, like how I said, schools trick you into thinking it's a good option for people that want to live in Japan. It seems fun. You like Japan. You obviously want to learn Japanese because you feel like you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It'll help me in my career in the future. And on top of that, it'll make my life easy in Japan, right? Kind of right, but mostly wrong. You can do this on your own. You can do it through private lessons without paying $40, $50, $100,000 plus dollars, putting yourself in a giant debt hole to get a fancy degree behind it. It's not necessary, it's not needed. In fact, let me let you guys in a little secret. TEFL certificates are not needed. I know, right? Shocking, right? And get this is going to be an even bigger shocker to you. Even although you live in Japan, nobody cares that you can speak Japanese. I gave this example before inside the video that I think you responded to. Imagine being in the US. Do we treat people from Mexico like magic because they can speak English? Sure, it's nice that you're bilingual, but we don't really give a damn. In some cases, you can get higher salary. For example, like working in a hospital or like a touristy setting. Sometimes it does result in a slightly higher salary. But being realistic, most of the time, like for example, you work in a Walmart or some shit, most jobs, some positions, like I said, there's always an exception to every rule, but generally speaking, y'all can get paid extra for being able to speak English and Spanish. Good for you. Who gives a fuck? Now, working like in a medical field, that's different. Because obviously you're dealing with higher salaries altogether. But your average everyday Joe is not going to get paid significantly more by knowing English. We don't pat you on the back for it. Especially for a job that doesn't require you to speak any other language but English. Like, fine, if we need Spanish, that's understandable, getting a raise for that. But in this case, you're not talking about speaking English as a Japanese person. You're talking about speaking the language that everyone already commonly speaks. If they needed Japanese, they would get a Japanese person. If they needed English, they get a Japanese person that speaks English. You're not a one-off rare person. Most people in Japan can also speak English, a little bit, at least. A lot of people in university are studying English, and there's more people studying English now than ever. Sorry to burst your bubble. So, whatever. Anyway. But yes, you would be surprised. Most foreigners here, they understand that they're going to be a teacher. They're already planning to do that. And they stupidly get trapped into signing up for, Japanese studies, Asian studies, or Japanese language, because schools pressure them into, tell them it's a great idea when it's not. They don't have your best interest. So yes, that just shows that you're ignorant to the topic and you shouldn't be commenting on my video because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I agree, it sounds silly, right? But if you actually lived here, if you actually went to school here, you would very much indeed understand why people choose these degrees, these majors, these careers. Now, do keep in mind, I'm older than you, bitch, it appears to be, and I'm also smarter than you, but we're not going to get into that part of it. When I made this video, Lakeland University did not have 4 years in Japan. It was an option. And on top of that, education was not an option for studying, which, FYI, they are the only school, to my knowledge, that offers an English degree that allows you to study education so you can become a teacher, which is actually extremely smart. And I have no idea why Temple University does not offer that. But that's a whole other story. So, okay. This video seems to be all about English teaching and zero about majoring in Japanese. You dumb bitch. If you listen to the video, I'm telling you that because English teaching jobs don't want you to speak Japanese, there's no fucking reason to get a degree in Japanese. You dumbass bitch. That's why you don't comment on my shit. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But okay, let me move on, weeb. So, Baka, Moja Baka. Come on, you would have gave yourself a perfect name. And you're going to have a damn Love Live picture. Even creeper thing is probably a nigga leaving this damn comment. When I say that, I mean a man. I'm not talking about your race. I don't know what you are. You sound like a white person, to be honest. But alright, I could be wrong. Don't know. But I normally have Becky's in my comment section losing their shit. But alright, yes. Of course, I'm in Japan, and most foreigners are working as English teachers. So yes, I'm talking about teaching English, and that's why I said the degree is useless. But I also add, it goes for the U.S. too. There are not tons of translation interpreter jobs where we need somebody that can speak Japanese for us in the U.S. either. It's not very much needed outside of anime and manga, etc. And those type of fields are very competitive. There are plenty of weebs, plenty of otakus that have even less of a life than you do. And keep in mind, lots of people that get these little interpreter jobs, they don't have and don't need degrees. The same thing as people that do, web design, etc. The people that are making the most money in those fields do not have educations at all. They're self-taught, they started their own businesses, and sometimes even chose to move over into work, for other people's company spaces, whatever. Like, for example, I don't know, maybe I have the story wrong, but I think about, my favorite video game, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yuji Naka, the person that, programmed Sonic. If I recall, he dropped out of college to join Sega, if I recall. I could be wrong about that. These careers are exceptions to the rule. And most people doing programming work are not making even half of what that man was. So that's a whole other story. And also, you have to have been there at the right time. He was born at the right time, applied at the right time, showed his work, and made the money that he made. But back on subject. Literally 90% of all Japanese majors I know either work as translators, tour guides, or some other job in the hospitality entertainment industry. You're also lying, bullshitting, because for the most part, there is not a need for Japanese translators in the hospitality industry, unless you're in like Hawaii or some shit like that. Where do people look for people that can speak Japanese to work some sort of tourism hospitality job? Besides in Japan. And in Japan, how much are these people getting paid? Right, pennies. So bullshit. You're lying right there. And again, I'm not talking about being abroad. I'm talking about in Japan. So abroad in that sense. I'm talking people that live here, that plan to work and study here. Or people that are also going to the school in the US or some other foreign country with plans to eventually live and work in Japan. These are people that I'm addressing here. So if you weren't so fucking stupid, you would realize that. But honestly, even in the US or other foreign countries, your work options are very limited. It's just like communications. People get these stupid degrees and, what do they call it? Communications. There's another degree too. I would even argue business as well, but especially communications, and it's one other one, I can't think of the word, damn. Psychology, which again, these degrees are great when paired with another degree. For example, like psychology, if you plan to become a psychiatrist and full-blown doctor. But just having a little standard basic degree inside these type of things, what type of salary do these people get? $20, $30, $40,000 a year, and these jobs are hard to find. They're competitive because there's lots of other people that want to study the same thing. It sounded fun. Same thing goes for criminal justice, crap like that. Can you find a job? Yeah, of course you can. Is it easy? Your salary going to be good? No. Are you going to make your money back? No, you're not. That's what I'm saying, you dumbass. And if it works out for you, 2 claps for you. If mommy, daddy's paying for school, go ahead and waste their money. I don't give a shit. And that's what I'm going to add too. Nobody's telling that you can't do it. I'm telling that it's not advisable. There's always, look, for example, I think about these little dumb niggas like, running around being rappers and shit. Nobody's saying it's impossible to become a millionaire. But out of the millions of people that want to be a rapper, want to be an actor, want to be a singer, dancer, how many people make that a reality? Right, it's hard, right? It's very competitive. It's very unlikely. So, you're not trying to be a hater. You're giving them real talk advice. The reality is you are unlikely to succeed in what you're trying to do. So it is best to get a degree in something else. Do this as a hobby. And if you're lucky, it can take off. I don't like her, but I think about Meg Thee Stallion when it comes to this. She was smart even after she became a rapper. She went ahead, finished her degree. Didn't have the best grades, but she did it. Doesn't fucking matter anymore. It was a backup plan. She listened to her mother. It was a fallback plan. She has skill. She has talent. She ain't the greatest rapper. She kind of fell off a little bit. We're finna get into that. But like I said, she recognized that there's a high chance she will not be famous, she will not be successful, she will not get to be where she wants to be. That's all I'm saying. Nobody's saying it's impossible to be a translator. Nobody's saying it's impossible to work IT. My last couple of jobs, especially 2 jobs ago, in fact, my last job, they had a full-blown IT team. Like how you would in the U.S. It doesn't sound like anything special to y'all in America. But like in Japan, that's not a normal thing for these international schools. Normally it's every man for himself or we got one person. They had a full-blown team, okay? So yes, these jobs do exist, and that's just one example. And these salaries were good at this place, okay? But generally speaking, you're not going to be getting a salary that's paying you $400,000, $350,000 per month. You're going to be more in the 200,000 something yen per month. No more than 300,000 yen per month. Which also sucks when you have children and or you want to get married, especially for men. At least for women, we ain't got to really care that damn much about salaries, especially if you want to get married, which most of us do, and or if you want to be a housewife like most women want to be, especially in Japan. I ain't getting into that conversation with all y'all little feminists and crap like that, but back on subject. So, okay. The other 10% did their master's or PhD and work as university professors. You're also lying to yourself. Come on. Also, you're not making it clear. Are you talking about in Japan or in whatever home country, I'm going to assume the US, whatever your respective home country is? Because where are you getting these fake statistics from? You're saying 90% of the majors that you know work as translators, tour guides, which, come on, y'all, let's be realistic. For the most part, tour guides are not making salaries that are sufficient for living on your own, having a decent lifestyle, even by yourself, especially not as a married person. So that's a bullshit example right there, not a dream job somebody want to have. Translating sounds nice, and if you can get lucky and be a professional translator, you like a job, doing journalism, whatever, these people oftentimes get paid pennies too. But there are some that get paid a lot. In fact, I say journalism is a good example of that too, which I talked about in that video. Most people doing journalism are making pennies. It's a shitty ass job, but you can get lucky. You can get a job on the air making $100,000+ per month. It's wonderful. But how many journalists are news anchors? Exactly. Not many, right? The vast majority of them have blogs. They work for other companies, writing in newspapers, etc. Right? And you're getting paid dust. So let's stop talking about these little, anecdotal, made-up fairy tales. But alright. The other 10% did their master's or PhD. Right. Do you see all the schooling you have to go through? A master's degree and a PhD in Japanese or, Japanese. I'm going to keep mixing the two. Asian studies or Japanese language. What a waste of money and waste of time. Look at how much extra time and effort you have to put in order for it to be worth it. This dumb argument would be the equivalent of me saying, look, psychology degrees are worth it. Look at how much psychiatrists get paid. They make $230,000 per year. Okay. I'm talking about USD, my dad. Okay. But let's take a step back. We're not talking about doctors. We're talking about degrees in psychology, right? Okay. Assuming we mean bachelor's degree. We're not talking about a PhD in Japanese. And let's also keep it real. Nobody gives a shit if you got a PhD in no damn Japanese Asian studies. You don't mean no shit to them. Your salary gonna be the exact same as somebody with a bachelor's degree. Get the fuck out of here. But alright, what do I know? So they work as university professors. How many people have professor jobs of any kind in Japan that are foreigners? Close to none. the people that do have those jobs, how much are they getting paid? How many of them have PhDs and master's degrees? You're a liar. And you know these people, right? Yeah, of course. You have so many friends. You have, all these people and all these careers and professions, right? You're a genius. You must be really popular. You're a celebrity or some shit? Liar. Okay, not a single qualified person will go and teach English in Japan because the job and pay are shit. This video's for people that live in Japan. Okay, that answers my question right there. You're not talking about teaching in Japan. Right. So then don't comment on my video. It's not for you and or about you, you dumbass. What do you not get about that? In fact, I wish I could contact her because I already blocked the comment. So there's no way for me to go back to, I could stop them and go to their channel. Hopefully the bitch will come back to my channel and see this video. But I'm thinking to myself, that just answered right there. You were responding from a perspective of somebody in your home country. But alright, let me see if I can do the research on it real quick, because I did it back then. I was shocked at how few people have jobs, but let me see. Well, I did a little search on it, and while I couldn't really find a solid statistic on the job outlook for it, while the demand for it remains high, the salary for it remains average to low. And again, this is not a lot of jobs out there. So and this is not about the US, this video is about Japan. But fine, let's talk about the US then for an example. The average salary is only $46,800 per year, which is borderline poverty. So like I said, it results in a low salary. Not to mention, for the people that make more, because on the higher end, you can make upwards of $80,000 per year. This is a rare salary. And keep in mind, once again, you're limited with the work you can do, because to be completely fluent in Japanese, you need to be able to read and write kanji at an adult level, which honestly, I have only met one person that does not have Japanese, has no affiliation with a Japanese person, that actually can read, write, and speak Japanese at a near adult level. Not 100% there, but is very fluent in Japanese when it comes to kanji. So you don't need to have it completely down to be a translator, that is true. But in order to make this type of money on the higher end, you normally do. There's going to be some one-off person with their own anecdotal experience, but for this to be advice for people in the thousands, it's not realistic. So whatever. They answered my question. They were commenting out of ignorance. They wrote all this shit, didn't even know the video's not for them. But yes, sorry, the pay is also shit in the US too. I wouldn't say that a $46,000 a year salary is worth going to get a PhD for. Not to mention, like I said, when it comes to translation work, it's not really, people don't really care too much about whether you have a degree in it or not. It's irrelevant. It's not needed to translate words. So, whatever. Anyway, she says, also at $650, it's not true at all. It's not true at all. You get a pay raise for seniority as a foreigner to at least at legit companies. You don't live in Japan and you're wrong. Oh my gosh, that is not true. Let me explain this to you. For starts, you have to be in a seniority position. And most seniority positions in Japan result in very little additional pay. And what do you know? They don't require Japanese language ability, and they don't require a degree in Asian studies, and they don't even want you to have these 2 degrees. They're irrelevant to the job you're going to do. If you try to apply to be a teacher in Japan, you say you have a degree in Japanese language, they'll be like, okay, well, this job is teaching English, so is that going to interfere? Well, we don't want you speaking Japanese to kids. You have to keep explaining to each employer you're not going to speak Japanese and basically try to use it in your favor and talk about how, well, because I know Japanese, I understand how the kids feel and what their struggles are with learning English. That's what you're going to have to do. What do you not understand about what I said, you dumbass bitch? But okay, let me finish. Excuse me, y'all. They triggered me today. I was pissed off. Because I just got to make another video doing a rant for Patreon. And then I'm getting ready to lay down, taking that. And I'm talking, just look at YouTube, check your comments. And I see this shit sit inside my spam box. But alright. At least at legit companies. You don't work for a legit company. You don't work in Japan. And that shows how little you know about Japan. Do you know how many jobs don't give you a raise at all? They'll just give you a different title. Most jobs don't even offer seniority positions to foreigners to begin with. So you don't know what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. Alright, but then I should have expected that from a bitch that named herself Moja Baka with a goddamn Love Live profile picture. Alright, so here we go. At least at legit companies, 730 is also false. Where does that information come from? There are literally so many foreigners working as software engineers, finance managers, translators, hotel staff, construction workers, fishing and farming, transportation, and so much more. Oh my gosh. Let me break this all down for you. We're talking about degrees in Asian studies, and we're talking about degrees in Japanese, not other jobs. Yes, of course, there are plenty of foreigners working those poor man's jobs. Does anybody come to Japan and say, I want to be a farmer, and I want to be a cashier, and I want to work customer service for Docomo? No. You know who does work these jobs? People that are not native English speakers, people from poor countries like the Philippines, Vietnam, etc., China, and sometimes even people from Korea. That's who works these jobs. These are also not normal people that have a degree in Japanese language or Asian studies. So what the fuck did this add to my argument that I was making? And I'm talking about people that get these damn degrees. Because you want to know who gets these degrees? People that want to come to Japan to be a teacher, and or the second most popular job for foreigners from developed countries, might I also add, is IT related work. And IT related jobs normally do not require a degree at all, or when they do require a degree, they care more about your actual experience. They will pass you over with the degree for the guy that actually has IT experience doing whatever the specific job is that they're trying to get done. So, bullshit what you just said, because you clearly know what the fuck you're talking about. And nobody said people aren't doing these jobs. The reality is the vast majority are not. The jobs that pay the most are normally teachers. They're the most consistent, stable job all across Japan. Because no matter what city you're living in, English schools exist. Junior high schools, elementary schools, etc. It's not about whether you like it or not. I swear I'm not getting paid to promote being a teacher in Japan. I'm literally just trying to teach you all common sense. If you know that you're going to come to Japan, you plan to live, stay here, work here, whatever, you know in your heart that you are likely to be living in Japan, likely to teach in Japan. Why the fuck would you get a degree that has nothing to do with what you're planning to do? That's all I'm saying inside the video. If you want to be Farmer Brown, then fine. You don't have to get a degree in anything. Have fun. You want to work customer service at 7-Eleven? Have fun. Bag groceries for me, bitch. I don't give a shit about what you do. I'm telling you, if you want to be a teacher, aka meaning you want to work in Japan without doing it through illegal means by getting married for a visa, you are probably going to find yourself stuck being a teacher, whether you want to be one or not. It's not about whether you like it, whether you love it. I'm telling you, this is the most common, most popular, easiest job, and consistently highest paying for foreigners, especially if you're a native English speaker like the audience that I'm talking to. My video is made for native English speakers. My video is made for Americans. My video is made for anybody else that can speak English too. But this is the audience that I'm addressing and talking to. People that plan to live, work, and study in Japan. The reality is, whether you want to do it or not, you are probably going to be stuck being a teacher. It's truth. There are very limited jobs available for people that want to work IT, engineer-related jobs. And again, the jobs that do pay good, they're very competitive, and they normally have high standards, high requirements from you, beyond just speaking Japanese, if that's even a requirement for the company. Because most IT jobs don't really give a shit about whether you speak Japanese or not. They're normally more concerned about your ability to actually perform and do whatever IT-related skills and work they have for you. So once again, don't speak of shit that you don't know, don't add shit into my mouth, and quit misinterpreting, misunderstanding shit. Too much to ask for. Okay, the majority of non-Japanese people I'm friends with are working office jobs, move to Japan long term. And how much money are they making? And do they have, look, this is off subject. We're talking about getting a degree in Japanese language and Asian studies. What does working an office job have to do with this? And yes, even for your office job, that would be another prime example of why these two degrees are useless, because they don't result in higher pay. They don't help you get hired for an office job either. Thanks for proving my point, you dumb bitch. God. Alright. Let's keep moving. Alright. I know zero long-term English teachers because it's not supposed to be a career. Teaching English in Japan is for people fresh out of college who want to go on a working holiday somewhere exotic. Almost nobody makes a career out of teaching English. You really don't know what the fuck you're talking about at all. Okay, let me help you out. For starts, plenty of people have full-blown careers just teaching English, for starts. Secondly, teaching English is used very vaguely. You know, it's used, well, not very vaguely, very broadly, okay? Like, for example, for me, I'm not really an English teacher in Japan when I was working. I was a kindergarten teacher, meaning that I'm teaching every subject, math, science, reading, writing, everything, all together. I worked at an IB school, okay? I'm not teaching people with flashcards, hot, cold. I'm not doing that sort of shit, alright? Now, of course, because I'm teaching young students, that's a part of the job. But I was teaching everything, and my advice remains the same, no matter what type of teacher you're trying to be. If you're planning to live in Japan long term, whether you see it as a touristy, exotic job, you know, for people fresh out of school or not, doesn't really make a fucking difference. It's what you are mostly going to be doing here, because it's kind of what we've been typecasted as being. English teachers. It's not just a matter of what we've been typecast as being, it's what we qualify to be. because most foreigners lack the Japanese language, reading, and writing ability to function in a real Japanese company. And even the foreigners that claim to work for Japanese companies, they're oftentimes lying to you, because in order to really work for a true 100% Japanese company, you have to be Japanese. Real Japanese companies don't hire foreigners. I can assure you that. They don't. They don't exist there. On top of that, not only do they not exist inside the workplace, when they do exist in the one-off rare circumstance, these are people that are completely fluent in Japanese. They're normally born and raised in Japan, and or they are at least half Japanese. They have some sort of association to Japan, or they are very, very, very fluent in Japanese. It is a rare thing. So first off, you're wrong. Even in the US, there are people that spend their whole entire lives being English teachers, being people that teach people from foreign countries, such as people that, speak Spanish from Mexico, people that speak, whatever other foreign language, French from, Europe, whatever, that come to the US. In fact, I was even looking into a language school for my husband in the event that we do choose to move to the US. Schools exist here. It's not people that work in there on holiday visas for fun. Sorry to break it to you. Not to mention, I'm guessing you might be from Europe about the comment that you made. Those visas aren't even available for us as Americans, so that doesn't even apply to us in this situation. But yes, I can agree. Some people do take a year off and they decide they want to, spend a year having fun, traveling Asia, traveling the world, teaching English, 2-3 years, whatever. Yes, that does happen. But just because you choose to do it that way does not mean that everybody doing this is doing it as a just for fun type of job. Not to mention, you literally just talked about being a farmer and talked about working customer service shit, but you don't see that as being a temporary job, but being an English teacher is. And again, mind you, I'm advising you on how to be competitive to work good English jobs, English teaching jobs, which we call all of these jobs English teaching because you're teaching in the language English, not literally teaching English like at a language school or being an assistant language teacher. These are homeroom positions. And many of these jobs pay more than what you would be getting paid doing any of the other better real careers in Japan. So don't speak on shit that you don't know, bitch. But alright, moving on. Alright. And I'm sorry, but the claim at $750 is just ridiculous. Are you really stating that translating, programming, and other office jobs are paid the same as English teaching? Big bullshit. I literally just proved it to you. Okay, in fact, since I'm a liar, let me show you the screenshots that I took, okay? Because I'm lying. And you can do a search. Do a search right now. Look up what I'm saying. Go to Gaijin Pod 2. Like I said, it's the biggest site that people use to find jobs in Japan. And I admit it, there are some jobs saying they offer, $4 million a year, whatever. This is what we have. 3.2 to 4.1 million yen, which is basically on par of what a teacher gets paid. This is for Thai. There's web contents direction for USA market. I don't even understand all this shit because, like I say, I don't do IT related work, so I ain't finna cap to you, but I can easily do a Google search just like you to figure out what the salaries are. And you can't see it on my little blurry ass screen, but here you have it right here. This is just 2 postings. Now these are the ones that are giving you the yearly amount, right? But for most of the jobs that we have listed here, which FYI, I did the work for you, this only results in about 27,000 USD. And mind you, we're talking about in Japan. See how they kept flipping back and forth? They act like they didn't understand what I was talking about because people don't choose these degrees to work in Japan. And then they also go back to talking about how they know all these people that work in Japan that are doing these jobs and making more money. So you're not making any sense. You're speaking out of both sides of your mouth, even in your own damn comment. Do you hear what I'm saying? She started it off saying that people that get these degrees aren't doing it to teach English, and that people that have these degrees aren't working in Japan. Then she flips it on me by basically saying, I know all these people that live in Japan and they're doing differently from what you're saying, and what you're saying is bullshit. I agree. If you're doing translating work, you would think it would be paid a lot, right? But I'm sorry, I call bullshit. People that teach the doctors, the nurses, the scientists, the engineers that even exist to do this shit, who does it? Who taught them how to do that crap? Right, teachers. Teachers are needed. They're the ones that do all of that shit. So I'm sorry, a teacher's career should be paid more than what a translator is being paid. And it actually does work that way in Japan. Translators get paid significantly less than teachers do on average. And I'm not working for a little inky-dinky bum-ass school. The schools that I was working for was paying me well because I was working at an international school. And I'm giving advice to people that want to work at jobs that pay well and work at international schools. So I'm telling them, don't get these useless degrees. And I'm telling them to get a degree in education or something else related to what they plan to do in Japan. If you have set in your heart you want to be some IT whatever, then fine, go ahead and do that. But I'm telling you, most of you won't get that job. Most of you don't want to do IT related work. So getting a degree in Japanese is useless. It's not going to result in higher salary, higher pay. You're asked to not speak Japanese even when you're being a teacher in Japan. So you can't even figure out what the fuck you want to say. Sorry. I showed that to you anyway. But yeah, that's about $27,300 per year in USD. And that's 4 million on the higher end. And like I said, they don't give you the 4 million. They're going to give you whatever the lowest amount is or something in between. Sorry, here goes a translating job that I was talking about earlier. Both of these jobs are listing 1,200 yen per hour. I know y'all can't really see here on my screen, but like I said, go to Gaijinpot yourself and look at what the average salaries are. I know there's the one-off job claiming they'll give you 9 million yen per year, but how many jobs are listing that price? How many cities have a job looking for a translator? Right. You're stuck in Tokyo, you're stuck in Osaka, you're stuck in Nagoya, and there's only 1 or 2 jobs available for any given time that pays the amount that you want. Don't speak on shit that you don't know. What you're saying sounds nice, and that's why I deleted your comment. I see a lot of dumb people go to those videos. Like I said, a lot of stupid people ask me questions every day. They look at content like that, and because something sounds right, it sounds agreeable, it sounds believable, they're like, oh yeah, Rin is wrong. Yeah, translator should be paid a lot. We spent years studying Japanese. She doesn't know what she's talking about. People working IT jobs are geniuses. You're in Asia. I'm sorry to stereotype you, but I gotta keep it real. Do you hear how stupid you sound? You really think your fat American ass is gonna get paid more than some little nerdy Asian that spent their whole life learning how to take apart a lithium battery? Are you fucking kidding me right now? You talking about me, bullshitting? You're big bullshitting, you dumbass bitch. Oh my god. But anyway, these are just one-off examples. And like I said, I'll show you. So engineer, mechanical, electrical, whatever. The 220,000. Look at that very low amount. That's a big-ass range to 500,000. I'm not just making up numbers to you. So don't be lazy. Look it up yourself. I'm not going to do all the research for you. Go to Gaijinpot yourself. Look at any other job site. Some people going to bullshit me on that too. Like, you can use jobs in Japan, or you can use Craigslist, or I found my job through word of... Okay, but how many people are going to get that position? How many jobs are available for what you're talking about in comparison to teaching? Look at how restricted you are where you can move. Look at the requirements to even get an interview for those jobs. And forget about the job being listed. Apply to those jobs that you're talking about. How many of y'all are going to get hired? How many rejections are you going to get? Exactly. You be fucking for real. Oh my god. Where was I think I missed that part which said, so at least at legit companies, where does that information come from? From common sense, from living in Japan, from working in Japan, from literally looking at Gaijinpot and seeing what the amounts are. So, and I'm sorry, yeah, the seniority thing, it doesn't work for foreigners. It typically works for Japanese people, not for foreigners. And when I say seniority, I'm talking about your age, not your position. Of course, generally speaking, if you get a different position, fine, they'll give you a little dinky 50,000 yen raise or some shit like that, which is not much money, might I also add. But generally, and when I say 50,000 yen, I mean per month, not per week, not per day, not per hour, per month, okay? And that's max what you'll normally get for going up from being a teacher to having like a management position. That's max. Normally, you're looking at more like 5,000, 10,000 yen for moving up, okay? In fact, I can use an example. I remember at one of my jobs, I think the head teacher was only making, like 20,000 yen more than the rest of us, which isn't a whole lot of money. It's only less than 200 USD. So, and in Japanese money, I just consider it as $200 to make it simple. But alright, where was I? I'm losing track. Okay. So yeah, see how hypocritical it was? Nobody makes a career out of this. But oh yes, plenty of people make a career out of fishing and farming, right? Fishers and farmers do exist. But how many of you personally know a farmer and a fisher that does that full-time as a career? Right, I don't know, not one. I know people do it as a hobby. Do farmers exist? Yes. In fact, my husband, his grandparents are farmers. They were farmers in Fukuoka. Oh, so that's a realistic career, but teaching English is not. And like I said, this categorizes everything. When I say teach English, it includes ALTs. It includes people that are, doing freelance teaching on their own. People working at daycares, international schools. That is a career. That's why a degree in education even exists, you idiot. But then again, this is a weeb, so, alright. Of course you want to defend a degree in Asian studies and Japanese. I should know that by your profile picture. Love live. Alright. Moving along. Let's see. Okay. And yeah, people working fresh. I'm sorry, I just keep thinking more. The video is about people that are going to school to get these degrees. So they would be fresh out of college working. And that's why I'm giving them this advice. I'm done. Moving on. Like I said. Okay. A real estate and translating, programming, and other office jobs are paid the same as English teaching. Big bullshit. It's also not true that these jobs require native level Japanese. A lot of office jobs in Japan require only N2 level. Okay, let me explain this to you, sweetheart. Alright. We use different terminology for office job versus being an IT, having an IT job versus being a translator. They're not all the same. And I'm sorry, while that might be true in your home country, respectively, even in the US, to be honest with you, most people working IT jobs not making these $100,000, $150,000 per year salaries. These are people working for the big boys like Microsoft, Google, etc., which those companies do exist in Japan, and there are foreigners working there too. But being realistic with you, generally speaking, to work for a real company that pays you this money, because since you know so much, you would also know that foreigners get paid somewhere between 60 to 70% what Japanese people make working the same exact career. So you being a teacher, generally speaking, I'm not talking about your assistant teacher, I'm talking about doing the exact same career. You are generally getting paid at most 70% of what the Japanese staff is making doing the same thing. So whatever statistics that you have that you've looked up don't count for foreigners. That's for Japanese people. For example, the average salary for Japanese people, I think, what is it, about 400,000 or whatever yen, or 350, something like that. Let's just say about 400,000 yen per month to make it simple. The average salary for teachers is like half of that. We're not making that much money on average. Now, do I fall into the average category? No. When I was working as a teacher, my last salary was up there in that same range. The lowest salary that I had in recent years was, about 370,000 was the lowest salary job that I had since I came here to Tokyo. Most teachers would give anything to make just 300,000 yen. And JET program teachers typically make more than most English teachers here in Japan. But that's not true for everyone, because it also depends on where you work. For example, some of these nicer private schools, like one of the ones that I worked at, they pay you quite handsomely. So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bitch. Different career. And not to mention, you're also wrong, because I just proved to you they're getting the exact same salary. In fact, these little 220,000 salaries, you see them less often in the teacher. Let's look it up right now, so I'm not bullshitting you. Alright, we're going back to Gaijinpat. Let's see, English teaching jobs. And so let me show you again the translating. See, now I'm on the actual website. This is Gaijinpat's site. Sorry, it's blurry. You can't really see anything. But whatever, like I said, go to their site. Look at all these 1,200 yen salaries, 1,200 hourly, 1,200 hourly, 1,200 hourly, 2.2 million a year to 4 million. What do you know? Sounds exactly like a teaching salary, but you know so much, bitch. Not to mention, you're flip-flopping back and forth. I don't even know if you're talking about Japan or if you're talking about the US at this point. It looks like Japan based off of the last thing you said. All of these salaries, 1,200 yen, 1,200 yen, 1,250 yen, 3 million yen per year, 3.2 million yen per year. I'm not lying to you. Look at this. These are all translation jobs. But yes, you know so much. So now here we are. These are jobs for working at schools in Japan. So let me show you that. And mind you, all salaries in Japan suck. But this is why I was saying they get paid the same amount. So it's not worth it to get a degree like that. That's going to just make it harder for you to get a job and less easy for you to negotiate your salary. But alright. Let's look at education jobs in Japan. What do you know? Big jump immediately. 250,000 to 350,000 yen per month. 300,000 yen per month. We have 2,500 per hour. And these are Nova. And so I'm not saying I like these companies. I'm just telling you it's the same damn salary, if not more. 265 to 345,000. Now I don't know about you. Maybe I'm stupid, but last time I checked, I thought 300,000 is more than 200,000 yen. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You know so much, Miss Love Live, Moja Baka. But I don't know what I'm talking about, right? So I'm not going to waste any more time showing you that because my little blurry ass screen. You can go ahead, go to Gaijinpat yourself. They make it very easy. Go to Gaijinpat, go to jobs. You don't need to have an account with them. Just search. Look at all locations even. Make it easy for you. Look at all locations. In fact, I'll let you cheat. Tokyo has the high salaries, right? Go to Tokyo specifically. Look at IT jobs. Then after you're done with that, look at teaching jobs. Then after you're done with that, look at translating jobs. And you tell me which one offers the highest salaries. It's teaching. You dumbass bitch. Baka. But alright. Where was I? Level of job in Japan require only N2 level. That is not true. For starts, a lot of office jobs here don't require any level at all. Not to mention, JLPT is completely separate from getting a degree in Japanese language and Asian studies. I'm not talking about whether it's, you should get that or not. Which, to be honest, that's what I forgot to mention earlier. This is going to sound really shocking to you, but even the jobs that say they want you to have JLPT N2, they don't mean the actual certificate. They want you to be able to understand Japanese at that level, which, FYI, a lot of foreigners misunderstand that. Being able to understand Japanese at an N2 level doesn't mean you can speak and understand it when it's spoken to you. It literally just proves that you're able to read at an N2 level. That's all it proves. Okay? Just like how there's plenty of Japanese people that have TOEIC scores of 600, 700, etc., but they cannot hold a conversation with you in English at all, and they will spend the whole time saying, what, who? Okay? But you wouldn't know that, right? Well, you should know that, right? Because you know so much, Mojabaka. Idiot. Alright. Let's keep moving. I don't see where speaking Japanese, at least at N2, is a problem. Wait, hold on. So wait, no, she did say what I said. A lot of office jobs in Japan require only N2 level. A lot of IT jobs actually only require English. But since this is about majoring Japanese, I don't see why speaking Japanese at least at N2 is a problem. That I don't understand what you're saying. That makes no sense. But let me try to understand what you're saying. A lot of office jobs in Japan require only N2 level. A lot of IT jobs actually only require English. Okay. Pretty sure I said that in the video, but let's say that I didn't say that. That still has nothing to do with what I just said. The salary is low. It's not worth it. There's less jobs. It's a lot more competitive. It doesn't matter if they required only N5 level. What I said still remains. And what I'm talking about is getting a good IT job where you do need to have N1 level. They're not going to accept somebody with no damn N3, N4, N2 even. That's facts. If you're trying to work for one of the companies like Gatekeeping, yeah, most of them do just say N2. You can find ones that don't require it at all. That's true. But what do the salaries say? Right. So for the salary that you want, you generally have to be very fluent in Japanese, which I'm pretty sure my video did say that. And generally, for those jobs to pay you the top dollar that you're talking about, you need N1 level. N2 is not enough. And again, shocker to you guys too, since you guys know so much more than me, nobody asks to see your certificate. It's for yourself. It's to gauge things for yourself. It looks nice during an interview to bring it in, but they're going to test your Japanese ability by speaking to you or having you read something. They're not going to say, show us your certificate. Some jobs actually do, I'm not going to lie to you. But the vast majority, they don't give a shit. They want to know that you have experience. Just like the TOEFL certificate. Almost no job actually asks to see that piece of shit. It means nothing to them. They want to know, are you capable of teaching English to people that don't speak it as their first language?
Let me also highlight once again that I'm not really so much talking about the language itself being a waste, but rather it is a waste to get a degree and to waste money, specifically trying to go after getting certifications in Japanese language and or Asian history. If you have the time and money to waste, sure, but that was not the topic nor the title of my video. So I'm not even going to bother to go down that rabbit hole. I've made other videos about that, and there will be more in the future that will specifically deal with that topic. But please understand, we're specifically talking about getting a bachelor's degree or higher in Asian studies or Japanese language. Nobody's going to argue about the usefulness of knowing the language if you plan to live here. But even then, I would say it's a waste for the average person, because truth be told, the average foreigner is not going to live in Japan long term. You think you're going to, you swear you're going to, you swear it's your dream, but most of you come here and you go home within the first 1 to 3 years because you can't handle it. And unfortunately, the people that do this, they don't make videos, they're not in the comment section, so it seems like I'm just making up shit. But if you live here, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. So anyway, back to the video.
They want to see your skills. They want you to prove to them that you have experience doing this. They want to hear about your experience. They don't want to see your experience, okay? I don't get paid enough to be doing this shit, but I'm enjoying this video. I'm over hour and what, almost hour, 12 minutes into this. But let me keep going. It's nice that you're a teacher and love teaching, but please don't spread false information. I said this at the beginning of the video. What do these dumbass white people and weebs get out of this shit? I see black people doing this every once in a while too. What do you think I get out of lying to you about this shit? Like, same thing goes for the bad stuff in Japan. What do I get out of this? What do I get? Absolutely nothing. In fact, I'm not even like getting like millions of dollars and millions of subscribers out of lying to you all. I said this before. People that tell the truth and speak on real shit in Japan is rare. And that goes for anything. People that tell the truth are seen as being haters, negative, whatever. And that's why my content does have less views. And I do have less subscribers, and I'm okay with that because I'm here to tell the truth. You don't know what you're talking about. And I literally just spent this whole hour and plus debunking everything you just said to me, and I proved it with facts. I don't even have to give you statistics. I literally went through the most popular listings for jobs and showed you this is what's available for foreigners that want to work in this field. Now, it's too complicated, and I'm going to waste my time looking into what goes on in the U.S. because that's not what the video was about to begin with. But now I'm wondering, are you from Canada or Europe or whatever, because you're talking about working holiday visa, or maybe you're just fishing shit out of your ass because you're so stupid you don't know that Americans can't use working holiday visas to begin with. So, telling you, please don't spread false information. My video is literally telling you why I would not do this in my opinion. It's my opinion. It's not false information. That's why I wouldn't do it. It reminds me of the dumb bitches that get offended when you talk about, graphic design and being an artist and shit. Anybody that's honest with you will tell you the vast majority of people that go to art school, that go do graphic design, etc., they are making no money. In fact, I'm sorry to put names there. I ain't gonna say nobody's name. But let me just put it this way. I had a former friend of mine that I was friends with for a long time up until I came to Japan. Literally just a couple of years ago. I think it was a year ago. Yeah, a year ago. Going on 2 years. He got a degree in graphic design at one of those little scammy ass, 2-year colleges or whatever. I think it was a 2-year college, an associate's degree. Wasted his time getting a degree in graphic design and web design. And you know what he's doing now? I'm not going to say his exact job, but he's working a crappy job, essentially at a bookstore, part-time, not making full-time money. And I'm sorry to bash this friend of mine, well, former friend of mine, just being real. What a waste of fucking money. Are there people that went to graphic design school, that studied web design, making big, banks, whatever, banks and bags full of money? Yeah, sure. But how many? Right. The vast majority of people are starving artists. They're overcharging for their art. They want you to pay $100 for a damn download of a print of their crap, and you can just copy and paste it yourself. And I'm just being real with you, okay? I'm not talking about what I'm doing. I'm saying what the rest of the world does, all right? I love artists. I support them. But I'm going to be realistic with you. Most people don't care. And I won't lie. I've seen art before. I'm like, okay, Bill, you're charging way too damn much for this shit. Especially for a damn print. You're not even going to, give me an original piece of art where it's actually, I can touch it and I can feel the paint. I'm literally printing off a damn picture and I'm paying you $200 for this shit. You done lost your damn mind. But whatever. Anyway. You get what I'm trying to say. Alright. You would advise someone that you love and care about, as a parent especially, I don't think you should go to art school, because it's not going to result in you having a good enough career to take care of yourself. You're going to be struggling to pay your bills. It's a fun career to have for some people, but it doesn't get your bills paid. Alright. Being a person working an IT job in Japan, not everyone, like I said, Captain Obvious, calm down, white people. Yes, we get it. Some of you do have jobs doing this, and it pays very well. I told you, I worked at an international school. I had, fathers that were, white men working IT jobs. I had Indian fathers working IT jobs, where they were making good-ass money. They could even afford to put their kid in an international school. It exists. It happens. But the reality is, most people paying to go to these schools, they're struggling. They're giving up almost their entire salary to afford the tuition for their child. They can't afford the school. They don't have enough money to have a housewife. They don't have enough money to support the type of lifestyle they would like to have. Now, if you're living by yourself, fine, you might be fine with that. But the reality is, I'm not even talking about kids and schools and everything like that. I'm simply talking about the same salary as a teacher. It results in the same pay. And even beyond that, forget about resulting in the same pay. My point is this. The degree serves no purpose in Japan. And the reason why I'm saying this is these are the degrees that are offered to people that want to study in Japan. And naturally, if you wanted to live in Japan, that's why you went to school here, you're going to graduate from these universities and you're going to go out into the market of trying to find a job, and you're going to be like, nobody wants to hire me. I have a degree in Japanese. I have a degree in Asian studies. I'd make a wonderful teacher. Right. Nobody's looking for an Asian studies history teacher that's a random white girl. Nobody's looking for a random white girl to do translating work. They will hire Sachiko and Taro for that. And when they do want a white person, you're going to do 1 or 2 hours of work, no more than 4 or 5, or you're going to get a 1 or 2 day gig where they give you, $200, $500, and that's it. You're done. You're not going to have another gig for a long time. And it brings you back to the entertainment visas. I have met people that have done soundtracks for video games. I worked for someone that did too. They don't do it full time. It's a one-off gig. And in this case, you're trying to get a degree in something that is a gig. Sure, if you're gonna go and get a PhD, but then that's a whole other story. That's like trying to say, I said this before, like, oh, psychology degrees are good. Look at how much psychiatrists get paid. Okay, but you can't be a psychiatrist with a psychology degree by itself. You have to go to school further, right? Okay, then that's irrelevant. You talking about getting a PhD to become a professor in the US is not relevant to Japan. And even if you were to do that in Japan, okay, how many positions for professors are available for people? Not even half of the graduating class that got them damn fucking useless ass degrees will be able to get a job doing what the fuck you're saying. Teaching English might not be what you want to do, but it is indeed a career. Education is a career, you dumbass. Just like how creating the damn anime inside of your stupid profile picture like the weeb that you are is also a career. In fact, to be realistic, based on what you said, that's a damn hobby. That's the hobby that people do for a year or two when they're losers fresh out of high school and don't want to go to college. They try to make it big, trying to become, a graphic designer, start their own web development, service, whatever, and teach people how to draw on YouTube. That's the type of shit that people do for a year or two. So, look, I ain't in my feelings. I'm not a teacher anymore, and I don't give a shit. And like I said, even as a teacher, we separate ourselves, okay? People working at a language school, those are the people doing these entry-level, do it for a year for the fun type of jobs. International school teachers, they don't just hire anybody. Not just anybody can do those type of jobs. Just like how I see a lot of IT jobs, they'll hire anyone. But if you want a real IT job, like you want to work at Microsoft, they're not going to take any old bum that just knows Japanese a little bit and they did a little bit of tinkering around with their computer. It don't work that way. I dated somebody that worked at Microsoft, actually. Not even done with this damn comment. I'm really so over it. Alright. Also another... Oh, sorry. Let me go on. Okay, so nice to teacher and love him, but please... And love teaching, but please don't spread false information. Teaching English is definitely not the only job foreigners in Japan. Where in my video do I say this? This is why I hate when people do stuff like this. These fallacious arguments. If you want to disagree with me, don't lie about what I said. Nowhere in my video do I say the only job you can get is teaching English. But I do tell you, it is the job that most foreigners will work. It is the easiest job to get. It is the most stable job to have because it's available everywhere and people want long-term teachers, but they are hard to find, hard to get because the turnover rate is high. No matter where you move to, teachers are typically needed somewhere nearby. That is not true for IT, translation, engineering, or any other bullshit fish and farmer crap that you just named, which FYI, that has nothing to do with getting a degree in Asian studies or Japanese language, and that'd be another example of a useless degree because you don't need that to be a farmer or a fisher, you dumbass bitch. And the people doing these type of jobs from poor countries. What American in Japan wants to be a damn farmer or fisher in Japan? You idiot. Alright, let me move on. Teach English is definitely not the only job for foreigners in Japan. In Japan, majors most often end up, I'm saying them in Japanese, often end up as translators in my experience. Do you have a degree in Japanese? How many people do you know have a degree in Japanese? So what do you mean in your experience? You're lying. And again, are they working full time? You're lying. It would be like for me to sit up here and say most people that go to art school get full time jobs working for video game and anime companies and they become web developers. Anybody that went to art school and graduated can tell you that the vast majority of people that they worked with either end up being an art teacher or they end up doing freelance work on their own. They're not making good salaries. They're working part-time jobs, if anything at all. It is a fun degree. Same thing goes for acting, theater, etc. It is not a degree in which you can really make a full-time living off of. So what do these people do? They do waitressing jobs. Literally, like I said, I'll give the example again. The people that I've met here that have done jobs and working for Square Enix or whatever and doing soundtracks to them, what do they end up doing? They make 1 or 2 songs for these video games. They make their little bag. And after that, they have no money. They don't get millions of dollars off of this. They get pennies. And oftentimes, they don't even get royalties from it. They literally get paid for the work, and that's it. And when they do get royalties, it's literally pennies. They get paid dust. Nobody knows and nobody remembers them. What do they do for a living in Japan? They teach private English lessons. They do dishwashing and waitressing jobs in Japan. They babysit, they walk dogs, they pet sit. Exactly. So either you're fucking lying or your friends are capping to you, because that's not true. And again, you keep flipping back and forth on what you're saying. You keep talking about Japan, and then you're talking about the U.S. So I don't know which country you're really talking about at this point, but I think you're talking about Japan again. So you said in Japan. Okay, teach English is definitely not the only job foreigners in Japan. Again, I didn't say it. That's a fucking flat out lie. In Japan, majors often most end up translators in my experience. And again, yeah, you could be a translator. Anybody. I could be a translator too. Am I going to make full-time money off of it? 1,200 yen is a lot of money, right? And that's just for a couple of hours of work or a few days. It's not consistent pay. They're not going to sponsor my visa either. There are very few full-time translator jobs available that actually offer visa sponsorship. It is a rare thing. Anyway, again, rare does not mean impossible. It means extremely unlikely, meaning that thousands of you that apply for the same job, one or two of you will get that job, meaning that it's not good advice. Likewise, like I gave for a dating example, it would not be advisable to tell a woman that is 300 pounds, 6'3", has 7 children, she's gonna marry a rich man. Why? Because a man that has money doesn't want somebody that's 37 years old, has 6 kids, 300 pounds, and is as tall as a nigga. That's truth. But that makes too much sense, right? Alright, let me keep going. It's definitely not a hard job to get if you're competent. You are so naive. Did y'all hear this? I'm sorry. Can some of my foreigners in Japan please back me up? Somebody, please. Do you hear what I just said? They just said, it is not hard to get a job as a translator if you're good, basically. You have so much to learn, you idiot. If only life were that simple. Just being good at what you do. Do you know how many people can speak Japanese well? Especially these Chinese and Korean people? That is not the way it works. Oh, just being good enough will make it easy. It's not hard. It's not hard to get a full-time translating job.
Look at how hard Weeaboos lie. Like, just think about that. They really think that it's just as simple as, oh, be good at it and you can get a job doing it. Do you know how many people are really good at football or basketball and will never make it to the NBA or NFL? Do you know how many people are absolutely amazing at playing musical instruments, but they'll never get to be like even a backup, player or whatever, somebody in a band for one of their favorite music artists? Do you know how many people are excellent artists but will never be able to sell a single painting? Do you know how many people are great singers but will never even be able to get a song on SoundCloud to get 100 streams or plays or whatever? Do you not realize how stupid that advice is? You really think that it's just simple as, oh, be good and you'll get a job doing it. Do you know how many weeaboos like yourself come to Japan already knowing Japanese? You really think just being able to speak Japanese and being good at speaking is all it takes to get a job being a translator? Are you really that retarded? I said it bluntly. I don't give a fuck about hurting your feelings. I'm not going to be politically correct about it. You really think it's just that fucking easy. It's not. Oh my fucking God. I know you don't live here based off of what you just said. Because the amount of people that live here and can speak that language and are making less than I did at my last job, even although they have been living here since before or close to when I was born, I cannot tell you how many people I've met that have been living in Japan for 20, 25, 30 plus years, that have been here longer than I've even been alive, but had jobs working at schools and working the same position that I did. Even although this is going back almost 10 years, they were completely fluent in Japanese, married to a Japanese person. Now, granted, I don't know what their degree was in, but I could tell you this right now. You don't need no damn degree to be a translator or an interpreter. But guess what? Either one, they really had no desire to do anything but teaching, which that's okay too, or number two, the more likely reality, just keeping it real, they could not obtain a job doing such a thing because it wasn't as easy as you're making it sound. It's very clear that you are not somebody that lives here, and you are not someone that's ever tried to do that. And I think it's also important to mention this part too, because I know some weeaboo, like I said earlier, is going to use the exception to the rule. I know there's somebody out there that found an amazing job, and maybe you know 3 other people that did too. But out of the 1+ million people that are living here, is that going to be advisable? No. But teaching actually is. Now, trust me, as I've said before, why would I want to make competition for myself? I'm clearly not trying to gatekeep. Otherwise, I would lie and say, oh yeah, pursue these careers, get a degree in this. I would lie to you. Because the less of you that have relevant degrees, the less of you that come from native English-speaking countries in particular and that are young, the less competition that somebody like me has. Why would I want to make competition for myself? I'm clearly trying to help you. but you dumbasses don't get it. You're so busy trying to fight against actual knowledge and good advice to make a point, or because your little feelings are hurt because either you couldn't afford school, your grades are bad, you're lazy, you hate school. I don't care what you guys' reasons are. I live in reality. It's not about what you like, what you think. It's about what is real life, what actually works and what doesn't. It's not about your feelings. Fuck your feelings. It's about real life. I don't make the rules. I'm telling you how it works. I can assure you there are thousands of foreigners that are completely fluent in Japanese that have passed the JLPT N1, N2. Well, forget about even passing that, because like I said, that's not a real indicator. It's not really, it's not really a way that you can tell whether somebody's actually fluent or not. It's just a damn test. Likewise, there are lots of Japanese people that have very high TOEIC scores, but they suck at actually speaking in English. They're only good at testing in it. And that's exactly what the JLPT does. With that said, there are people that are very fluent in Japanese that could fool you and make you think they're half Japanese or some shit. And guess what? They don't have a job doing that type of stuff. Not to mention, a big reason why they don't want those jobs, even for the ones that could apply for them and get the job, is because they don't pay well. They don't offer stable work. They don't offer stable hours, and you are limited with where you can work. Most of those jobs require you to be in Osaka, Tokyo, or Kyoto. And a lot of foreigners, especially white ones, just keeping it real, for various reasons, they like to live in outskirt countryside areas. I have another video that'll be on this topic, but just keeping it real, a lot of them like it because it allows them to relive their days of being new here, where you can be the token foreigner. And they'll all lie and say, oh, that's not true, I just like the country. Right. Anyway, like I said, hey, that's between you and God. I don't care about why you chose to live there. I'm just keeping it real. And with that said, okay, but eventually a lot of them get tired and they choose to come back here. And even for the ones that choose to live there, okay, well, good luck finding a translation job in the mountains. You're not gonna find that. If you want to make those nice salaries that you see people fake bragging about on Reddit and shit, you're gonna be living in Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto, and the best salary is gonna be in Tokyo. Okay, like the only time salaries are typically way better in the mountains is if you want to be a doctor, and that's not gonna fucking happen for you all. So anyway, like I said, I live in reality. I'm telling you, it ain't that damn simple where it's just like be good and you'll get a job doing it. We're not talking about being a teacher or, being a doctor or some shit. We're talking about a rare job that is typically given to a Japanese person. Why the fuck would they hire you when you require visa sponsorship? They have to do a whole lot of vetting to make sure that you understand Japanese culture, that you can read and write fluently. It's a lot of shit they have to do with you that they do not have to do with a Japanese person. To hire a Japanese person, it's already understood that they can understand kanji, that they know how to translate things correctly. It's understood that they know the customs and manners, and it's so much shit that goes into that. But long story short, yeah, miss me with that bullshit. It's not as simple as just be good and you'll get a job doing it. If it were really that easy, there'd be way more people that are singers, rappers, actors, etc. Because there's people that have been trying their whole lives to break into those industries, but they never could for that exact reason. It's not that damn simple where you just be good and somebody throws a job at you, where you actually get full-time salary, can support at least yourself, yet alone, most people here are, foreign men, and they want to have a Japanese wife and kids. You're not going to be having that as a translator unless, you find a wife that really loves you, doesn't give a shit about money. But generally speaking, you're not going to find a job that you're going to be able to support a family, yet alone yourself, doing that. And again, most foreigners that are doing these type of jobs, they're liars. They upload content where they show you what they're doing, but they don't share their real salary. And the one person that you see that does it, I promise you, they're an anomaly. I have met people here that have done work where they've had gigs, where they've, made songs, whether it be beats or soundtracks for video games. And I can assure you, they are working the same bummy, casual, everyday jobs that these Chinese, Vietnamese, and Filipinos are working. They're working hotel jobs, they're working at restaurants, they're busting their ass off. They're doing regular, low-paid jobs and gigs in order to support their own visa being here in Japan. So if you want to do that, hey, go ahead. But that goes back into what I said. I would not advise getting a degree to do that. That is my point. The people that that are doing these things, they're not doing it full-time like how they're telling you. They're doing it part-time. They're freelancing. They're not making much money from it. They normally have roommates. They're here, military brats. They're here on a visa because, they have a Japanese spouse. Don't even get me started on the models here. The amount of cosplay models that you see on Twitter and on Instagram, that have secret husbands that they don't tell you all about is, it's crazy. But we're not going to get into that. Like I said, my goal is not to dox and expose people. I'm just saying, do a little more digging and you'll be like, wow, that crazy black bitch Ren, she was actually right. I'm just saying, a lot of people aren't telling you all the truth. They're telling you things that make their channel stand out or their page stand out and seem interesting. But the reality is, nope, they're living the same casual life as the other people here from poor third world countries that are doing the trainee programs and visas and whatnot, which is fine, no shade, no hate. But I'm just saying, it's a form of lying. They're being misleading. They're making it seem like, hey, everybody should do what I'm doing. Because look, I spoke Japanese well enough, and look, I got a job, I sang this song, or I made this beat, or I got to model for this company, and it sounds sweet. But if you knew how much they actually got paid for what they did, you would feel very differently. So that's it. Back to the video.
Full time, making more money than a teacher too, might also add. Alright, I'm not even gonna argue with that. Y'all look it up yourself, okay? In fact, don't even just look it up yourself. Make your own friends here in Japan and find out how many of them are translators. See if you can figure out how much they really make. See, people be capping too. You can find, for example, I've dated men that have lied about their jobs to the foreigners here. And it's like, you ain't making that damn much money. You ain't doing none shit you said. I remember I was on Paris before and I came across this black man that claimed to have had this modeling agency or whatever. So this nigga, baby daddy, he ain't got no damn. I mean, you can tell he ain't had money by looking at him. He had on this dingy ass outfit trying to look like he had. Like, you ever seen somebody try to dress like they have money and just make them look even broker? He was one of those type of people, okay? I can see right through that bullshit. And I share it on Patreon. So if you want to join Patreon, sign up, $5 per month. You can scroll backwards and see what I said a year ago about that man. But back on subject. He was a colorist too, man. Also, he thought that I was biracial. I'm not. I'm a full black woman. I'm not half Japanese. But anyway, let's move on. Yeah. Hold on. It's definitely not a hard job to get if you're competent. I mean, every job is harder to get than teaching English, because teaching English in Japan only requires you to be a native speaker and literally nothing else. Again, you clearly don't live in Japan, because that is not true. If you want to work as an ALT at a random, cheap, low salary job, meaning they pay you somewhere between 180,000 yen per month to about 270,000, typically more like 240,000 yen per month, yes, these jobs do not require teaching experience. They only require you to be a native English speaker. That is 100% true. Preferably native, I should also add, because they'll oftentimes hire people that are not native speakers. However, if you want to have a good teaching job, the type of jobs that I do, you do need to have not only a degree, but also experience, and it is competitive because the salary is good, and you're not just teaching English. You're using English as the language. You're using English as a tool to teach them everything else. The same way that your teachers taught you back in the US or Canada, wherever you happen to be from. I don't really know. You talk about working holiday visa. So I'm assuming Canada or somewhere else. I don't know. So, yes, you're 100% wrong about what you're saying. So, you clearly didn't do research on what you're saying, and you're fucking capping, like I said before.
Okay, let me also mention this too. I've said this many, many times before in the past, and I might even say this in this video, but I wanted to add this part to it as well. People constantly forget that when something is very desirable, it's going to be competitive. You are not the first, the last, or the only person that wants to come to Japan. You are not the first, the last, or the only person to lack a bachelor's degree. You are not the first and last or only person to not have a relevant degree. And with that said, when something is very competitive, even if the job requirements say you don't have to have something, they really do want you to have that. And when I say want, they require it. For example, if everybody and their mama decides they want to come to Japan, guess what? Even although the school may say a bachelor's degree is not necessary, experience is not necessary, when you have 2,000 people applying, and that's being, modest, to one fucking job, what do you think is going to happen? They're not going to say, well, a degree isn't required anyway, so we're going to hire you. No, what they're going to do is they're going to say, well, it's not necessary. Obviously, we prefer somebody with experience and with a degree, and that is a native English speaker. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. Now, I get it. What I'm saying sounds so taboo because none of the people whose videos that you watched before me have ever said this, but I'm here to tell you right now. Ignore that shit. There are tons of videos from people that are also American that will tell you, oh, it's not necessary. A degree is just a requirement from immigration. But that's bullshit. Once again, when you have people that have experience, have a degree, and they are making up a large portion of applicants, or forget about even a large portion, when you have a cesspool of uneducated people inexperienced people, people that are not native speakers or that are applying for the same job, you are going to use a process of elimination of some sort. And there are several ways that this is done. One is going to be age. You are going to prefer applicants that are younger because they're more likely to stay longer, not have children, health issues, etc., that can pull them away from being at the school. On top of that, you are going to look for people that have experience. This is a way of using the process of elimination. You have 10 applicants. All of them are beautiful, young, men that, are going to attract more female students, or beautiful young women that are going to attract, more, whatever students. You get what I'm trying to say. Okay, with that said, they have to find a way to decide, okay, everybody's a blonde with blue eyes. How do we choose? Everybody's, same age. What else can we look at? Oh, okay, this person has a bachelor's degree. Oh, that person has a master's. Oh, that person, they taught in Japan for 5 years. Oh, this person, they have experience being abroad for 10 years. That is what they are going to do. Okay? With that said, don't get too comfortable and think, oh, well, I don't need to have this because the job says it's not a requirement. It's just immigration. Yeah, especially not these days. I came to Japan right on the cusp of when it was starting to become a really big trend for everybody and mama to move there, before TikTok blew up. Now, everybody's moving to Japan. Everyone wants to live there. Everyone has the same dumb idea to start a super generic, cheesy, you have to try this in Japan, only in Japan type of channel. And with that said, there's way more people that are moving here every single year. The competition will get steeper and steeper, and the salaries for teaching English will get lower and lower. And the same thing goes for the IT, engineer, whatever type of jobs. But nobody wants to talk about that, and I'll open up that can of worms later. But anyway, you would be a fool to think that you don't have to worry about those things, that you don't need to have a relevant degree, that you don't need to have a bachelor's degree. You're also a fool to think that just being a native English speaker gets you any job, because that's not the way that it works. And again, this is an example of people ignorantly speaking on shit they don't understand. A lot of people crap on the teaching profession, and I'm not trying to crap because that's what I chose to go into. But I'm just being real. I said this before, and it's the equivalent of pretending like being a chef is the same as like being, a chef at like a fancy restaurant and shit. Gordon Ramsay ain't no broke nigga working on fries at McDonald's. He's Gordon motherfucking Ramsay, okay? There's levels to this. A fry cook at McDonald's is not going to be the same as a fry cook at a, 4 or 5 star restaurant, whatever. There's a big difference, okay? Same thing goes for working at a hotel. Nice, luxurious hotels, they don't just hire any old Joe to work there, all right? Okay, now that we have that understood, teaching is the same way. For those of you guys that don't understand, professors make bank. They make good money. Your college professor is not some struggling, starving artist teacher like how somebody might be working at some sort of, private, small mom and pop school. It's not the same thing. Likewise, an ALT is not the same as an international school teacher. But keep in mind that even for international schools, there are levels to this shit. Now, I'm not going to hold your hand and walk you through all this. You're an adult. You think you know so damn much. Put your big girl or big boy pants on and you do the research on your own. Let me also add that's a fallacious argument that people love to use. People will refuse to do research, refuse to read what I write, and also refuse to listen to what I have to say in order to maintain the fact that they are right, because the excuse is, I'm not going to read all that. Bitch, people won't even make it to this point in the video. But, I'm not going to, listen to all that, whatever. So it just tickles me when I see grown people doing that, because one, it further shows me that you didn't go to college and why you need to go. And when I see college educated people, I can't even say educated people do stuff like that, it also makes me scratch my head. It's like, how the fuck did you all like get a bachelor's degree or, whatever, even an associate's? Like, do you not take English 101 or 102? Like, you literally learn about fallacious arguments within your first semester or first year of university. How do you not understand that that's a poor argument to make? Not to mention, I ain't got no skin in this game. I'm a motherfucking housewife. If you want to be a bum, you don't want to be a teacher, you want to struggle, you want to play life on hard mode, you're not a native English speaker, and you're jealous and hating on people who are, like, I don't give a damn. Like, you're grown. I don't care what you do. I'm making this to give advice to people that do want to pursue these things and do want to know the truth and do want to be prepared for when they come here and do want to make a life for themselves. If you don't care to do that, then 2 claps for you. Like, what do you all want me to do? Am I supposed to give a shit about your personal decisions? And not to mention, I find it really funny that people seem not to understand, while you may not care to do these things, other people do. While you may be okay with hustling forever and you're okay with doing the bare minimum and also having a salary that shows that too, a lot of people don't want to be like you. And that's exactly what this content is for. So if you are listening to this right now and you know in your heart you want to live in Japan forever and you're like, I don't want to work a job paying me 250, 270,000 yen per month or even 300,000 yen per month, then you might want to take my advice. If you're okay with making bare minimum money, maybe you're a woman and you plan to be a housewife or whatever, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, cool. But I'm just telling you, if that's not in your cards, or let's say before you get married, you don't want to live your life struggling for the years that it takes for you to find a man, you might want to get a bachelor's degree and a relevant one at that. And remember, these requirements could change at any time, especially with the cesspool of foreigners living and working in Japan increasing, because the competition will become more and more steep. It is going to be harder for you to distinguish yourself from other people. Many people have a degree in education. That's not even special. But because there's so many people that come to Japan that don't have that, it kind of still is. Now, granted, over time, it will start to no longer be a big deal, because then they're going to probably start asking for master's degrees while still paying the same or even less. So it's whatever. But I just find it really funny when people act like they're all the same when they're definitely, just like being an artist. Being some artist selling your little $5 shit drawings and digital art and shit on Instagram, or what's the other one, the DeviantArt or some crap, is very different from being a real artist. And people pay you to make New York Times bestseller books. That's a very different type of, whatever. Same thing with singing. Many people say I'm a singer, but I'm not talking about your SoundCloud garbage. Do you actually have albums that actually sell? Can I look you up and find you on iTunes and shit? That's what I'm talking about. There's levels to it. So, anyway, back to the video.
I'm getting tired. I'm never going to bother to go into detail about why you were wrong about that. But no, you can't just be a native English speaker and get the job that you want. That's actually a big problem a lot of people have here. A lot of foreigners think that they're going to have, smooth sailing because they got a job at Nova or GABA, etc. It's like, these places hire anyone. The degree is only needed to get you the work visa. If you want to make more money and move over to international school, this is why I said having a relevant degree matters. Because they look at that. They look at what your degree is, and they choose to hire you based off of what your degree is and your relevant teaching experience. But see, you wouldn't know that because your bitch ass never worked at an international school, you've never been a homeroom teacher, and you don't fucking live in Japan, and the fake friends you talked about don't exist. But since when do weebs have friends anyway? Should have expected that. But alright, my throat is getting dry. I need something to drink. Where was I? And also I should add this too, talking about what job is harder. Yeah, I'm sorry, but copy and pasting Japanese in the Google Translate is definitely a lot easier than teaching English of any kind. It's a stressful job. It is a hard job, and it is not super easy like how you're making it sound like it is. Anybody that's taught English in Japan can tell you how hard that job is. It is not easy by any means. In fact, the easiest of jobs is theoretically still hard, which is working with preschool age kids, nursery students, whatever, because still gotta deal with the crying and pooping and potty training, etc. But at least there's not really much expected of you as far as the teaching part goes. You're literally just raising kids. So in that sense, fine. It's easier in that type of way. I'm not comparing the two jobs. I mean, it's easy work technically, but for a lot of people, as you can see, even people just taking care of their own damn kids on TikTok and Instagram bitching about, oh, we're superheroes because we have to wake up every 3 hours to breastfeed our baby. So whatever, that's a whole other story. But yeah, sorry, translating work, and so is farming and fishing, all that bullshit that you just named. Those jobs are also easy. So do you speak a second language? Do you think that the person that taught you your second language thought that their job was easy teaching you? It's not. You deal with a variety of students. Everybody doesn't sit there and copy what you're saying and doing. You deal with bad behavior, you get bad reviews, bad ratings, getting fired, getting in trouble with management, dealing with stress from coworkers. Teaching English is not easy, whether you're working at an international school or teaching at a language school. It's not. It's hard work. You're underpaid for what you're doing. And honestly, a lot of what you're doing is helping people that will have really good jobs in the future, such people that plan to be doctors and nurses and lawyers, etc. They need English. People that want to go off to university abroad, etc. So, yeah, you insulting the profession. I don't know what that does for you, but okay. I don't care. Anyway, I really don't understand why the entire advice in this video is to not aim higher. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you, you're aiming for something that's non-realistic. This goes back to what I said before. Lying to somebody that plans to be, a graphic designer or whatever, studying art in school. Fashion. Alright, let's use fashion for example. Somebody going to school for fashion design. How many people that went to school for fashion design are out there working for or creating their own brands like Louis Vuitton, Marc Jacobs, whatever? Exactly. You probably can't name one person. I can't name a single person that I know of that went to any of these damn schools. So I don't know many to begin with, but you don't know many either. They don't exist. We don't know them. We've been wearing the same damn few brands for years. And the people working for these people don't make a lot of money. They get contracted gigs every once in a while. And some of them are lucky, like some of the few that you've seen on Instagram. But the reality is, most people that have degrees in fashion design don't get paid shit. Now you can say, hey, don't crush people's dreams. Look at this person. I can't think of his name, but I think about that guy that's like been able to do designs for Bratz dolls. I think he's working with Nicki Minaj, whatever, design outfits for all these celebrities and whatnot. Okay, this is a one-off, rare example of somebody that actually made it in the fashion world. How many of you are going to do the same thing? It's not being negative or teaching you to aim low. It's teaching you to be realistic. I told you all in a video before, I don't know if I said it in that one, but I said it on YouTube before. My dream was to get a job working for Sega. And when I realized how competitive it was to get a job at that damn company, and how much I sucked at pretty much everything, from programming to art, I recognized that while I probably could make it if I tried really hard, spent years and years and tons of money, and spent all my time learning how to program, learning how to draw digital art, I could possibly make it. But I recognized I was not naturally skilled and talented enough, and I decided to keep my little dream as just that, a dream. Shout out to those of you that make it. Shout out to those of you that do become programmers and graphic designers and make good money. But the reality is, most people working for these companies even are making pennies. That's facts. I'm not telling you to aim low. I'm telling you to be fucking for real. I'm telling you to be realistic with yourself. You are no different than a stupid parent that would encourage their child to be a rapper over going to school to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever else. People rap about inside of songs about how they dropped out of school, they were going to be a doctor, they were going to be a lawyer, blah, 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 and now they're a millionaire rapper. Okay, but realistically, how many of your friends, your peers, people your age did the exact same thing as you and ended up regretting it, not making money, not being millionaires, and at best, making a decent livable wage per year doing what they do? So the advisable thing would be to teach them, do something different, because you're likely not going to get the job that you want to have. And if you do get the job that you want to have, it will not be full-time. And if it is full-time, it will not result in a salary that is a livable wage for you. What do you not get about that? You fucking weeb. Alright. We're almost done with this, people. Sorry. Let's keep going. Alright. Being a translator is a well-paying and very stable job. I would advise every Japanese major to go for that. We're talking about Japan. It's not even stable in the US. There aren't a lot of jobs available to do that. So you'd be lying about either country, but forget it. We're talking about Japan right now. Not a stable job, not a high in demand job, and it is a very competitive job. That's facts. Even for Asian studies, there aren't many opportunities to do Asian studies. For most people, you have to move to a very specific area in order to even find a position that needs that. Because what do we normally study in school? European, African American history. Not specifically Asian studies, but fine, you can get a degree being a regular history teacher with a degree in Asian studies. That's fine too. But the reality is, the people that will get the higher salaries are those that have, masters, doctorate degrees, not working at a university. Which again, limits where you can work. But we're not talking about the US really, I'm talking about Japan. Also, another important point is that not everyone is from a native English country. Oh, that answered my question. I'm not, for example, so English teaching doesn't apply to me anyway. Not that I would ever want to be a teacher anyway. Right, of course, everybody's hating from the outside because you can't get in. You can't be a teacher. You're not even able to. Well, I won't say you can't. It's very difficult for you to do. Ask the other people here that are not native English speakers what they would like to do in Japan, and you will find that the vast majority of them would love to be a teacher, but they can't. They send me emails on a regular basis. I work with them. I cannot tell you how many bitter, jaded people from South Asia, from other European countries that were my assistant teacher that wish they had my position. There are people working IT jobs that want to get into teaching. Literally, look it up. There's forums that exist out here. I ain't gotta hold your hand and walk you to everything. So you're full of fucking shit. And maybe it answers my question. You're talking about fishing and farming and stuff. You don't even understand the salaries in Japan. So, you are so fucking stupid. That answers it for me right there. I don't know what country you're from, but there we have it. You're not from a native English speaking country. So you should be Xing out of this conversation anyway. It doesn't apply to you. And yes, that goes for anything. Everybody doesn't fit any category. If I say, okay, well, you should get as much experience as you can in your 20s. Well, not everybody's in their 20s in Japan. Some of us are in our 30s. Okay, bitch. Well, most people that come to Japan teach here on the JET program or through programs like NOVA, etc. And the vast majority of those people tend to be in their mid to late 20s and or early 30s. Sorry that you don't fall into the category. You don't need to fucking state the fact that it doesn't apply to you. If it don't apply, let it fly. It's not for you, you dumbass. What do you not get? This video is fucking in English, so it's not for you. YouTube is an American product too. So let me keep going. English teaching is a good way to get your foot in the country, but it's not a career. That's in your opinion. You don't want it to be a career for you. And just like how you said that's not a career, you know what's really not a career? IT. Because everything that people are doing for IT, anyone can do without a degree. In fact, most people that are doing that sort of work, they don't have a degree related to IT related shit to begin with. They went to school for it to have formal training to make themselves competitive. And that's essentially what I'm saying inside my video. In order to be competitive, it is best to get a degree anyway, even if you're going to marry a Japanese person and work through that spouse visa. Because most good paying jobs do not hire you just because you're a native speaker, just because you have a spouse visa. You do need to have relevant experience and a relevant degree in order to get those jobs. That is facts. Some jobs do, but most of the jobs that you're thinking of are jobs that do not care for actual teaching. They're simply hiring you to teach the language, not to teach in English. So you don't know what you're talking about. So you shouldn't be speaking on this topic. You're not even a native English speaker, so this video doesn't even apply to you. It'd be like making a video giving advice on how to get a promotion. Somebody comments, say, well, I'm not a native English speaker, so I can't use the fact that I'm an American. Okay, but it's not for you. What do you not fucking get about it? Or some ugly ass bitch saying, well, I don't look good, so I can't attract men to make money. Oh, okay, then it's not for you. I ain't Jesus. I can't give you no instant makeover for your DNA. But alright, back on subject. I see how you're being insulting towards me. I'm literally giving advice. You're basically trying, I'm not doing this career anymore, but you keep taking shots at being a teacher. When it's funny because according to what you're saying, since you know these people and you have this experience, I'm guessing you must have the degree because you say you have experience with this. So how do you have experience once you have a degree in translating? And then you can't speak on what the outlook is for careers, how easy it is to find jobs, and what jobs are available, because you clearly didn't do your research and even just look at the job boards that are available. And mind you, even for these jobs that are available, I'll be a little bit tough love on you right here. Most of these jobs, they don't want to hire people that aren't native English speakers, even if the job is for Japanese. They will much rather hire a white girl from Europe, from a European country that speaks English, like the UK, Australia, something else like that. The United States, Canada, over you, wherever you happen to be from. So, whatever. Where was I? If you're competent, you'll easily land a job as a translator, interpreter, or some office job, depending on what your other skills are. I already talked about this. That's not true. It's bullshit. You don't even know because you don't live here. I live here and I do know. It's a lie. In fact, I have friends. I have people even follow me on Instagram that are working as part-time translators. And you might even know some of them yourself. But again, part-time. And they're married to Japanese people. It's not a full-time job here. It's not easy to find. And these people have been living here longer than me. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. I already answered that earlier. I can go on forever about that. Oh, they're from Europe. Oh, yeah. University's free in Europe, so no student debt for me and my colleagues. Then it doesn't apply to you. And I'm sorry, it's not about student debt even. You're wasting your time. 4 years of your life for a degree that's not going to get you ahead or help you advance. And also goes back to what I was saying before inside of another video. American degrees are preferred over European ones and Japanese ones. So, and in case you didn't realize, your time is more important than your money. So I don't care if school is free for you. Just like how you don't have to pay for your shit. There's plenty of people in the U.S. that are watching my content whose mommy and daddy is paying for their school entirely. And the ones that aren't having their parents pay for it, they're going to school for free thanks to financial aid, thanks to getting, special loans and scholarships or whatever for being a minority, for playing sports, for playing in band. Yes, it's wonderful the school is free, but I'm also pretty sure your education sucks, if anything like how Japan is. Not with education, but with healthcare, which a lot of people bitch about that. Oh, U.S. healthcare is so expensive. And after living in Japan, I can tell you firsthand, I am glad that healthcare costs money in the U.S. because people bitch about it in the U.S. too, like I have before too. But Japanese healthcare is significantly worse. You understand why it costs so damn little. So, let me move on. Okay. And another, if you have permanent residency or are married to a Japanese national, you can legally do any job a Japanese person does, except for some government jobs like police officer, self-defense forces, politician, city worker, etc. Yes, being an electrician. Why the weird fixation on that particular job? LOL. I answered that because actually, I said electrician specifically because somebody had asked that question before, and if you actually listen to the video, you would know that. And people have asked these questions online. You can do a Google search and figure that out. Also, going back to what you said earlier, you're advising people to get into sham marriages essentially, because the reality is most foreigners living in Japan are not married to a Japanese person. So that's irrelevant advice. Not to mention, we're talking about college students. We're not talking about ways to get into Japan illegally through scam visas, which is basically what you're basically what you're implying here. Not to mention, again, you're wrong and you're stupid. Just like how in the US, degrees make a difference. Not just a matter of having a green card. Japan is the exact same way. You cannot do any job besides the jobs that you just listed just by being married to a Japanese person or just by having permanent residency, which FYI, you idiot, most people don't qualify for permanent residency without having a bachelor's degree because you needed to have been living here in Japan for 10 years to even qualify for PR. There's a way to get it with 5 years, but again, we're talking about generally speaking. Same thing goes with a spouse visa. You would normally have had to spend some time here unless you got into a sham marriage online, somebody you met and dated for whatever amount of time. So that's a whole other story, but I'm just keeping it real with you. What you just said made no sense, did not hold any weight, makes no sense for the argument that was being had inside of this video. I'm telling you that the degree is useless. You giving me other routes to work other jobs in Japan without a degree makes no sense to what I was saying about the degree being useless. It still stands. There are plenty of people that are married to Japanese people working low-paying teaching jobs because they don't have a bachelor's degree at all. Or they have a bachelor's degree, but it's not relevant to the career that they want to have. Or it's not relevant to teaching. I worked with a woman, I'm not kidding. She had some sort of neurosurgeon, not a neurosurgeon, but something similar to that. I think it was a neurosurgeon. Some sort of brain doctor type person from India. She was working at a language school with me. Making 2,000, it was even less than that. I think she's getting paid 1,500 yen per hour. She's a genius. She's a damn doctor. Her profession makes more than what my husband makes in the US. But this is Japan. She's not a native English speaker. And this is an English teaching job. And so because she did not have a relevant degree to what we were doing, she didn't get paid what I was getting paid. Alright, now I hope you understand that. It doesn't matter that if she was married to a permanent resident, it doesn't matter that you have PR. It doesn't matter that you have a spouse visa. So stop saying shit that you don't fucking understand and don't know. And you really just sound like a little jealous, hating ass bitch at this point, because you just basically admitted you're not a native English speaker, you're from Europe, you don't live in Japan. You just sound like a hater to me. You're just jealous. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But then you're telling me what not to say. And I don't already know this. How are you schooling me and I live here? Alright. And again, like I said about the electrician thing, I've actually seen several different white guys ask about this and talk about how they don't have a degree and how they're wondering if they can be an electrician because they have skills. And people like electricians actually can make good money working for themselves, even for their companies, because these are problems people have, people need to get fixed. They can charge a lot of money, just like how plumbers can. The job sounds nasty, it's rough work, but actually the pay tends to be rather high for a lot of the people doing this work. They can make upwards of 6 figures doing this type of job, even though it sounds nasty and dirty. So that's why I was fixated on that. But see, you don't live in Japan, and you clearly don't read people asking inside of forums and inside of groups, because this question actually comes up quite frequently. Or at least it did at that time. I haven't looked at this recently. Okay. I'm not trying to be negative, but I think this video is mostly based on your personal experience, not on facts, as you say so yourself in the beginning of the video. That your whole comment was a waste. And it's not really my opinion, because I just showed you guys. I literally showed you what the listings were for jobs available. What did you show me? Nothing. Just anecdotal experience about fake friends that you claim to have. Didn't give the number of them. Didn't tell me what their salaries were. You talked about how teaching English isn't a real job. It's just for people on holiday visas. But then you talk about how being a farmer is. Right. How many people want to be a farmer? How many people want to be a fisher? And in Japan, where you get paid nothing. Unless you are Japanese and you have a whole fucking farm to yourself. That's slave work in Japan. That's technical trainee program type stuff. You idiot. You don't even know what the fuck you talking about, giving people bad advice. You saying my advice is bad. Yours is. That's literally technical trainee type of work. There are tons of people from South Asia working them damn jobs. Don't none of us want to work there. And you're not a native English speaker, so sorry. Exit out of the conversation. Not for you. But yeah. Because I really don't understand how someone can claim that teaching English pays better and is more stable than being a translator or having an average office job. Where was that? Having an average office job. Couldn't be further from the truth. Alright, well, I'm already done. I answered everything except the video. What you just said couldn't be further from the truth. I understand it doesn't sound like it's true. It doesn't sound like it's fair to you. I get it. Because where I'm from, most certainly, when I think of IT jobs, even though, like I said, factually speaking, most people working IT jobs are not making the $100,000+ per year that you think of. They're making significantly less. However, honestly, I do think of higher salaries when somebody says IT or especially engineer, but the reality is in Japan, nope. They get paid pretty damn low salaries that are pretty much on par with being a teacher. Not to mention, like I said, yes, there are jobs that do the same stuff, engineer IT, that do pay more. For example, Microsoft exists here in Japan and so does Google. But the reality is, most foreigners will not get those jobs. There aren't a lot of those jobs to go around. And again, the reality is, most of you aren't even qualified for them. And getting a degree in Japanese language or Asian studies, like how I fucking said in the video, will not help you get any of the jobs that you just named. So thank you, you dumbass Moja Baka Love Live bitch. You proved my point. Thank you. This is why, instead of trying to argue with me and getting your little weeboo ass feelings, just do your own research. And instead of being like, why is this woman saying all this bad stuff about Japan? Ask yourself, why is nobody else saying this? Maybe there just might be some truth to what I'm saying. But you know what? I ain't got no skin in this game. I'm not a teacher. I don't own a school here. I don't want you here, like I said. For those of you that want to prove me wrong and do your own thing, thank you. Less competition for me. Please, don't get a degree. Don't get a degree in education. Please study useless art and IT shit. Do whatever you want. Go ahead. You are making it open for the rest of us that do have degrees in education. You're making it easier for us to negotiate our salaries. You're making it easier for us to interview for our jobs. Because it's keeping the pool of applicants that are actually competitive small. Good schools do require that. You, my friend, are thinking of people in the JET program and ALTs. FYI, even for the JET program, the interview process is not that damn easy. Plenty of people get rejected every single year. You don't know what you're talking about. And again, it's not just about the degree being free versus costing money. It's about the degree also having value too. Nobody gives a shit about no damn degree from Europe. People like American degrees. And we're talking about studying in Japan or in the US, or really whatever respective country you come from. You're wasting your 4 years of time to get a degree that means nothing when you come here. You are not going to be able to negotiate your teaching salary by saying you have a degree in Asian studies or Japanese. You're not going to be able to negotiate your salary as a translator because you have a job, not a job, you have a degree in Japanese. They don't give a shit. They want to know that you can actually translate this shit properly. You don't know what you're talking about. Your feelings are hurt by what I said. Maybe you have a degree in translation. Maybe because you're a fucking weeb, like how your profile picture alludes to. I'm bursting your little bubble because this is the plan that you had. Please don't speak on shit that you don't know. Since you're telling me what not to do, you please don't speak on shit that you don't know. And you're talking about fixation with the electrician. Okay, why are you fixated on the English part? You keep talking about teaching English. I'm telling you, those degrees are useless for any job that you have. So let me throw the question back to you. Why are you fixated on, forget about even the teaching English part, why are you fixated on whether teaching English is a career or not? I'm clearly telling you that plenty of people make it a career here, whether you like that or not. So why are you fixated on that? The reality might also add, because what most people end up doing here. Career doesn't mean you stay at the same company. It means you're doing the same type of work. You're also too damn stupid to separate teaching English at a language school from being an actual homeroom teacher. But again, I would expect that from somebody that named themselves Mojabaka. So, I'm done. I hope you all enjoyed this rant. Again, I don't waste my time arguing with dumb bitches in my comment section. I would much rather just make a video, read you the filth like how I just did, and explain everything, break it down for you. Because see, if I wrote all of this shit, you wouldn't read it, you play dumb, and like how, I even made a whole video, and you added words to my mouth, claim that you didn't understand it, took things out of context, etc. So let me explain, break down a video that I made, 5-6 years ago at this point. Let me explain it for you since you're too retarded to understand what I fucking said to you. The video's not for you. The video is advising people that are being tricked, duped, and pressured and coerced into signing up to be a Japanese language or Asian studies major because they don't know what else to choose. Most foreigners coming to Japan to learn, to go to university here, they normally don't know what major they want to choose because the major that they had planned out in their mind back in the US does not exist here. That is why the video exists. And because most foreigners in Japan are going to graduate, and for the ones that do stay, they're going to do the job that every foreigner does, which is become an English teacher of some sort. And using the term broadly, meaning any sort of teaching job in Japan, you will want to have a competitive degree so that you can more easily get a job, you can negotiate your salary, and you won't have to spend months and years being homeless and jobless like so many non-native English speakers deal with all the time. Even people that hate the idea of teaching, if you live in Japan and you're not a native English speaker, you understand and you know of plenty of people that wish they could be an English teacher, even if it's not you. And normally if it's not you, it's because you have high skills doing something related to either, IT, engineering, whatever. And those are rare people, might I also add, which is why I also call bullshit on this person that claims to know all these people doing whatever. Do these people exist? Nobody's saying they do not. That's why these listings exist, talking about 9 million yen per year salaries. Well, we know what's out there. But the reality is, it's very rare. A lot of these posts are scams. They're pop-up companies that come up for a year, 6 months, and then they disappear. They close down. That happens all the time. But you know so much, right? Okay. I'm done. That's all for this video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Go ahead, argue with me inside the comment sections. If you live in Japan, please back me up on what I'm saying. I'm not saying IT jobs don't exist and translation jobs don't exist. But most people doing these type of jobs do not work them full time. They don't offer high salaries. And please, even if you don't live in Japan, go to Gaijin Pop. Look up the salaries. This is the good thing about Japan. All of the jobs on that site, just about, they tell you what the salary range is. And if you live in Japan, even with the biggest of salary ranges, you will find that when you actually interview for the job and actually get, a job offer, they will normally give you the lowest available salary or just a little bit more because you have a little bit of relevant experience. When you live in a country where Japanese or whatever language you studied is the main language, just like if you were to be a native Spanish speaker and you learn English as a native language, unless the job calls for you to speak Spanish, like being in a hospital setting or something like that, we don't give a shit that you can speak English. That's expected of you. And we're not asking for you to speak Spanish. This is Walgreens. We don't care. You're at the wrong job. Okay, Japan is the same way. Most IT jobs don't need an English speaker. They just need the Japanese. And if they just need the Japanese, they more than likely prefer to hire a Japanese person to do the job. You didn't need to get that degree in Japanese language. You could have easily gone to a language school and taken private lessons. But again, nobody listens to what I'm saying. People pick out the pieces that they don't like or exaggerate what I'm saying, pull shit out, misconstrue, mix up my words. But go ahead, like how I said, my favorite verse in the Bible, I don't remember the damn number, excuse my language. But God tells you, only a fool learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So instead of recognizing, maybe it is stupid to get a degree in the commonly spoken language that everybody already speaks for a job that doesn't really fucking care about my language ability. Like, for God's sake, you're teaching children English. Why the fuck do they care if you can speak Japanese? And if they do want you to speak Japanese, they don't ask you to have a degree. I've never seen a job for teaching that asks you to have a degree. They ask you if you have a degree in Japanese and tells you they'll pay you more if you have a degree in Japanese. At best, they might say they prefer that you are fluent in Japanese and in a very rare circumstance that you have a JLPT whatever certificate. But this time you have no knowledge about Japan because you think that little stupid JLPT certificate even means shit here. It doesn't. Most jobs don't ask for it, don't care about it. They simply want to know that you can speak at that level. But again, I wouldn't expect if somebody that names themselves Baka. What a perfect username. So I'm done with this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As always, you can check out my YouTube channel's homepage. I have videos on working, studying, dating, living in Japan. Tons of rants, videos similar to this one too. And Yeah, I'm tired. I'm out of breath. I've been talking for hours at this point, like 2 hours now. So I'm done. I said everything that I had to say. Yes, I was pissed off. I hate when people lie on me and ask shit into my mouth. I hate when people purposefully try their best to not understand what I'm saying because they just want to fight and argue with me. My channel is not the place to do that. I will call you back out, and I would do it and make money off of it. I'm not gonna waste my time commenting in my comment section of shit. So for those of you who love my long videos, I know you enjoyed this one. So that's all for now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please support my channel by signing up for Patreon. It's $5 per month. If you enjoy my rants and rambles, you will get tons of videos like that there on Patreon. There's over 150 videos that will never be shared publicly here on YouTube. So please support my channel there. Other than that, thank you for listening and thank you for watching, and I hope you'll watch another video.